Another episode of Manhood Academy podcasting coming to you. Hold on, let's see if Boggles is here. Let's jump and see if Boggles is home. Time to dial up the boggler. Bring. 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 I remember when I was in 10th grade. Oh, Boggler.
Hey, Blum.
Oh, Boggler. I remember when I was in 10th grade, I think I saw Hollow Man, and this DNA scientist in the movie had this sign on his ceiling saying, "You must be working," and I immediately put that sign on my ceiling as I studied for tests in school, and I think it helped me study 5% more than I did without the sign. That is an amazing epiphany that you would borrow a sign from a movie, one of your favorite movies, Hollow Man. Put that over your bed. While other people are placing like mirrors over their bed for sexual purposes, you're placing signs from movies over your bed to improve 5%, according to you, 5%.
5 to 10, yes.
5 to 10? Why didn't you list 5 to 10? You only listed 5% here in your quote.
I like to give the minimum.
As I studied in school, and I think it helped me study 5% more. So you're kind of erring on the conservative side.
Yes, I always try to err on the conservative side in a lot of situations.
I see.
It's safer to be conservative than put yourself out there and look bad.
Yes. You know what I hate? When you switch back from Windows, I just switched back from the forum window to the Gmail window, which, because it has the Google chat and I can see your lovely Indian face.
Uh-huh.
But when I left the window, it was still dialing you, and it had my picture. It had a picture of me in my video chat window.
Oh, okay.
And then when I switched back to when I switched over to the forum to read your quote, I was reading it, and then I switched back, and it still had that like ghost image of me, of my face in the video camera, and then it switches back to the regular view, which is your other person you're talking to is in the big view, and you're like in the little corner. You're in the little right-hand corner, like a fourth of the size.
Okay.
But it disturbs me. Why can't I just switch back and you're in regular view? Why does it have to remember that last screen?
Let me try that right now.
No, I don't want to know. It's a technology glitch. Why do you want to waste time on that? I already wasted about 2 hours just discussing it right now, and now you want to waste even more time on that.
Because these kind of things fascinate me. Like, I want to experience the same thing you did and see if I have the same results on my computer. The nerd in me just gets so excited to see if I had the same results.
That's fascinating. That is rather fascinating, I must admit.
Yeah, when I look at the belt or something you have hung up over there, it's like you just like beat some chick with it or something.
What's that?
Like you just like were ripping somebody. You have like a belt or something up there.
I have a belt beating some chicks. Where are you getting
at? No, you have a belt up there.
Up where?
Oh, it's not a belt. It's just like, it's like leashes or something, dog leashes.
Boggles. Nobody knows what you're talking about because we're podcasting. You're like a chick saying, and then Mike said about Jenny that she wanted the cake, and Jenny was like, "Why do you get the cake?" And the audience is left wondering, what the fuck are you talking about? You
just
never explain anything. That's why people don't talk to you. You don't explain anything. People are just caught off guard. They have no idea what you're talking about. They think you're like a rambling lunatic. Let's completely ignore your comment, and let's open wave.google.com and check out anything that we could discuss on this podcast. Because let me see, I could even bring up my podcast notes.
Oh shit, this is my designer.
I have two screens here. One of them is my podcast notes, and one of them is our dueling podcast notes. One is personal, and one is shared.
Oh, okay, I have the shared, okay.
Yeah, okay, you can only look at the shared one. You can talk about anything we have on the shared one. First thing I want to bring up is Rockeye, one of our students, finally found his balls to make his first post in the Conveying Your Person forum, which is a long time ago. Since then, he lost his balls again.
Okay, that happens.
Yes. Let's visit that post right now.
All right, hold on.
So I got to go to Conveying Your Person.
I'll add some more points to mine, okay.
Conveying Your Person. We're going to the Manhood Academy forum. We're going down to Rockeye.
By the way, I like the video that you posted.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too. Remind me in a second. We'll come back to that. A dizzying ride into insanity. Rockeye's expressioning.
Oh yeah, I liked what you wrote. Let me see.
Okay. I quoted part of his post. He says, "This is where the mind becomes exposed, where the true depth of wit, intelligence, and wisdom is on display for all to see." And then he goes on to say, "I have decided to bring what little wit, intelligence, and wisdom I possess and hang it out to dry for all to ogle at." This is his very first post.
Nice.
My response to that was not nice. It wasn't nice. It was, see these two sentences above? They tell me that you have no fucking clue what this section is for yet. And that's why it's taking you so fucking long to get here.
Yeah.
Why did I say that?
Because he didn't understand the point of the section. He thought.
Yeah, but what did I post? I mean, why did I quote those things in particular?
Oh, this is where the mind gets exposed. Like, he thinks by exposing himself, like, oh, and everybody to see, he's somehow, like, everybody's gonna know, and he's gonna look bad. I don't know.
Good scramble, but you're on the right track, yes.
I was almost there, but I'm
like most people, he's worried about looking dumb. He's worried about looking stupid. He's worried about not impressing us with wit, intelligence, wisdoms, little stories, interesting things. So in essence, he is totally missing the entire point of the conveying your person section. What is it for? Is it to display your amazing Indian wit and charm?
No, it's to convey your experiences and try to convey it in a relatable, coherent manner so that others can get into, see how you interact.
So should losers like you be posting in the conveying your person section?
Yes, you should be failing and posting on there. You should actually...
Why should losers like you be posting in there? Why shouldn't just like smart, charming, witty, funny, intelligent, wise people be posting in there?
Because that is the only way a loser can ever improve.
No, because we don't have those type of people on this forum. They don't exist on this forum. We don't have... Well, actually we do, but...
We have people who can write better.
For the most part, if they were the things that we described, that we're all enamored of and attracted to, you wouldn't be on this forum in the first place. You wouldn't need to be here.
Well, you could be a witty guy, but you could be a fag, and then you would want to be here.
A witty guy with no balls. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The main point is that this section is for practicing. This implies that you're not there yet. You're not a witty, insightful, intelligent guy with a lot of depth. You're learning how to hone your expression, and this is exactly what this section of the forum is for. It's like a sandbox. You're there to play, to learn how to build sandcastles.
Exactly, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't come with the attitude that you should be a full-fledged architectural wonder, a contractor, bringing in your Cat 5 vehicles and tractors and building a professional-grade sandcastle in the sandbox. That's not what this is for. This is you with your sand pail figuring out how to build your very first building.
Yes, okay.
And if it falls over, you just start over again. That's how easy it is.
And a good thing over here is you can read what other people have written and see their progression and then...
Right, that's another point, but let's concentrate on this point, my dear Indian friend.
I'm a deep tracker.
Yes, you're not Deepak Chopra, you're Deepak Chopra, you're Deepak Distracta. Like you distract from the main point. You're Deepak Distracta.
Okay.
So the point is that I forgot the point. The point was that this particular section of the forum is for you to practice your expression, to get better at your expression. It is not so that you come as a finished product. Like a lot of...
Hold on. Yeah, go on.
What the hell is going on over there?
Fucking South Park started playing. Hold on.
Fucking South Park. Turn that nonsense off.
Yeah. Alright, it's gone.
This is not the time for South Park.
It's gone.
Boggs loves to derail the podcast for everybody out there.
Alright.
Do you have any more distractions you want to plan or anything accidental?
The bomb is going to go off in like 20 minutes.
Awesome. So we wouldn't rely on your wit, your intelligence, etc. in this section of the forum to keep you going. This is not the point of this forum. This forum is, you should acknowledge when you come to this forum that you don't know what you're doing and you're here to practice. So what is the real problem that is preventing people from writing in this forum or posting in this forum? Actually, I would say this applies to any section of the forum of the Manhood Academy. What prevents them from posting?
Getting deleted, being made fun of.
What is preventing them from posting?
They're scared.
They're scared. They have no balls to post. And this is the environment that says, we know you're scared. The problem is, you don't yet realize you're trying to trick Manhood Academy. You're trying to trick Manhood Academy into believing you're not scared, into believing that you are competent, into believing that you are intelligent, that you are wise, that you know what you're doing, that you're a witty guy, you're a charming guy, you're a successful guy, you're a competent guy. You think you're tricking Manhood Academy into thinking that. That's why you're not posting.
Okay, we say like you don't have balls and stuff. Like I don't see anywhere where it specifically says we know you're scared. I guess it's implied. I think we should put that in. That way they know that hey, you know they're scared.
You're saying that this is the first time we've talked about this.
You say the guys don't have balls. You never say they are scared, like specifically.
So when people say you don't have a spine or you don't have balls, do you think that implies being scared?
It implies, but I like it when things are spelled out. You are scared. That specifically points out you are scared and you're not posting.
Boggles. You make me want to kill myself, really. Either you should have said, hey, I don't understand the American expression. You don't have balls. You don't have a spine. You don't realize that you're afraid of posting, etc. Or you should have said, hey, spell it out for me. I don't understand what's going on. Either explain that you don't understand what's going on, or say you want it said more simply, or
Well, I do kind of say you don't
the
have
other
balls,
option is that you actually know what it means to not have balls to say something, and that you're just, I don't know, trying to derail the point. You're trying to tell me that you don't know what not having balls
No, I know
means.
what it means. I just said it's the first time I heard you mention it specifically saying you are scared and hence you are not posting. I mean, I like it when it's like distilled down to what it is. You are scared and you're not posting.
I thought that's what it distilled down to. When I say you don't have balls, that is like more of a slang distillation, but it essentially is the distillation.
It's not as direct as what you just said.
It is correct, but it's slang. To say you have balls means you're scared. It's the exact same thing. That is me encapsulating it.
Okay, you're scared. Like this is so fucking direct. Like you're scared. You're not posting. Period.
You don't have balls says the same thing to me. We're arguing over semantics, but I'm just, my mind is boggled. Again, why you're called Mind Boggler. Why we changed your name to Mind Boggler from Mind Runner. My mind is boggled how you can't connect the dots, or why one would be so much more impressive to say you're scared versus just saying you don't have balls. I mean, it implies the same thing. I don't know why one would incite you more to change or to make you have a deeper realization.
One is just more plain English, dude.
I understand it's more plain, but I don't understand how the other one, if I said you don't have, the problem is you don't have balls to post. I don't understand how that would distract you from the point of being too scared to post.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have balls to post. That's okay.
Oh, I'm scared. Oh, okay. Hold on.
Now it's a big deal. Now you change your mind. This is why, again, you're the worst student at the academy, and we always love to reiterate this point.
You want me to continue with that?
No, I just wanted there to be 20 minutes of silence behind that one point to let it sink in. I wanted to feel like you are scared. You are the worst student at Manhood Academy. I wanted to say that and then just have dead silence.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much now. When you
Obviously
say
not. Obviously not.
That shit.
If it bothered you, I think you'd be more incentivized to not be the worst student at Manhood Academy. But I think you're comfortable with the title, that award, that distinction. I think you're too comfortable with that distinction. You're like, it's fine.
I should be comfortable.
So one day I'll find the right expression that'll bother you enough to not want to be the worst student at Manhood Academy. Until that time rolls along, let's get back to the point here. The point is that Rockeye does not realize, like a lot of guys don't realize, this forum is not to just showcase or display how great you are at social interaction. It is to practice social interaction. Again, most of you, I would say all of the students here do not realize this. And this is one of those things, when you see in movies, those signs where you want to hang them over your bedroom when you see a sign in a movie?
You are scared. Start fucking posting.
No.
You are scared.
No, that is not the sign you want to hang. The sign you want to hang over your bedroom, over your bed on the ceiling. This is the mirror you want to look at. This forum is for practicing social competence. It is not for displaying social competence. Once again, this forum, Manhood Academy, is for practicing social competence, not displaying social competence. Write that down because I'm going to put that in a post. I want you to type this as I'm saying it.
All right, hold on. Let me put it in the wave.
Manhood Academy.
Manhood. Misspelling. Okay, Manhood Academy.
Manhood Academy is for practicing social competence.
Social competence. Okay, and not displaying social
Manhood
competence.
Academy is not for displaying social competence.
Oh, you want Manhood Academy mentioned again? Okay.
Either way, just get the point across. Manhood Academy is for practicing social competence. Manhood Academy is not for displaying social competence.
Okay. Got my back.
You're a guy who likes to look at the trees. Eventually,
Yes.
one day you're going to be a guy who goes, "Oh, I see the whole point. I see the forest." This is also a contributing factor for why you're the worst student at Manhood Academy. You continually stare at the trees.
Yes,
And I would say you continually stare at leaves on the trees.
Probably, yes.
I wouldn't say probably, I would say certainly.
Certainly, and I can kind of see that, but I can't point my finger the way you do on something.
Right. This is why it takes repetition. This is why we have to simplify everything in these these distinct little slogans or these simple little ideas or concepts. Manhood Academy is for practicing social interaction. It's not for displaying your social competence. It's for practicing social competence, not displaying it. We know you don't have it. We don't expect you to have it. We're expecting you to practice to attain it.
Okay.
This is the reason we have the forum conveying your expression. This is not to convey a honed, polished expression. Otherwise, you know what it would become? It would become Plum's diary, Plum's blog, Plum's journal.
That's true.
Okay? That I would be the only one qualified to post in my own forum. Okay? It is not that. The reason why I want you to have the majority of posts is because this is for socially incompetent people. This is to practice social competence, not to display it.
Yes.
Now, I've said it about 10 times,
Yes.
and I'm sure it's gone over most people's heads. I'm sure that it's gone in their ear, and it's working its way around in their brain. But for most people, it's going to go right out the other ear, which is why I'm going to have to repeat it again. But my hope is that one day you'll understand that this is the forest, and you'll stop looking at the trees, and you'll remember that one sentence or that one phrase, that one slogan Plum uttered about Manhood Academy. Manhood Academy is for practicing social competence, not displaying social competence.
Okay.
I'm glad if you display it, but I'm more happy that you practice to get there. You understand that? What am I more happy with? You doing something so awesome or cool, or you practicing to display that something awesome, cool thing and failing miserably? Which am I more pleased with?
You're more pleased with the latter, even though I would be more pleased with the former.
Exactly. That is the problem. You are concentrating on the former, whereas I'm stressing the latter. It's really a change in perspective you need. It's a realization. That's the only difference between you and me. You have everything at your disposal. You have the full capacity to be an attractive person right now. The only thing that you're here at Manhood Academy for is to learn how to change your is to gain a realization, is to learn how to change your perspective about how you view social interaction. Once you change your perspective, you have all the tools to become a socially competent person.
Okay.
They're at your disposal right now, believe it or not. But you don't have the realization. You don't have the proper perspective. That's why you're limited in what you can do. You're like a person who is a millionaire. You got a check for $1 million in your back pocket. You have $1 million in your back pocket, but you're a homeless bum living on the street. Why?
The shift in thinking hasn't happened.
Why? You have $1 million in your back pocket, but you're living on the street homeless. Why? What is the problem?
Well, many years I've lived in
Listen.
this perspective, so that's...
Listen. You're a homeless bum on the street, and you have $1 million in your pocket. What is the problem?
You don't know how to use those $1 million?
No. What is the problem? You're a homeless bum living on the street, and there's $1 million in your back pocket. What's the problem? Why are you a homeless bum living on the street?
Because you're used to being a homeless bum.
No. This is like a brain teaser.
Yeah.
You're a homeless bum living on the street, and there's $1 million in your pocket. What is the problem? Why are you a homeless bum?
You don't use it. I don't know, dude.
You don't even know it's there. That's the answer to the brain teaser.
I don't see the $1 million.
Yes, you don't know it's in your back pocket. You think there's nothing in your back pocket. You've never checked. You don't realize it's there. Do you understand the answer to this riddle?
Yes, I mean, there is capacity. I kind of see that.
Yes, there is capacity, but there's no realization that there is that capacity there. There's a realization. The only realization you have is not really a realization. It's a delusion. Your delusion is, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. There's no $1 million in my back pocket. That is your delusion. What you need is a realization to counteract that delusion. That is really what everything is doing. Everything at Manhood Academy is dedicated to. That's what you're really paying for. You're paying us to give you a realization, to conquer your delusion with a realization. There you go.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay, next topic. Moving on.
All right. Yeah, I had a couple of points on the previous thing and I totally forgot. So next topic.
You totally forgot? I thought you'd just chime in like your usual self.
I wanted to chime in and then you were talking and I'm like,
yeah, no, I have a tendency to sometimes talk over you when I'm like, this is a nonsense point you're making and I want to make a more important point.
Yeah, and also I was trying to think it through, make sure it's coherent enough that way halfway through.
Make sure it was so beautiful before you said it.
Not beautiful, yeah, but coherent enough because sometimes halfway through I'm like, oh fuck, that didn't come out how I wanted it.
Yes, I agree, but I enjoy your opinion even if it's not educated. We can educate it while you're expressing it in the middle, in the midst, in media stress.
Okay, I wish I remembered now, but hold on.
Anyway, guess what? I just posted a new video.
Yeah, I briefly mentioned that before.
Congratulations on mentioning it.
You're very welcome. Thank you, actually. See, I fucked
So this is a clip from the seduction community. A group of haters. They're used to calling us virgins, losers.
Oh, they do that too?
Yeah, you know, they say, oh, Professor Plum, he's a virgin. Dr. Dice, virgins. These guys don't know what they're doing. The typical chick insults, like, you can't get laid, you're a loser sitting at home on your computer, blah, blah, et cetera, right? So these guys have totally trashed us, right? The seduction community. And I guess that makes sense because we're bad for their business model. We basically expose them as a total scam. They're scamming naive guys out of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars collectively. But, you know, for each like boot camp or whatever you call it where they go to and they train for 3 days in a club or a bar and get social competence. You're going to learn how to get awesome Playboy chicks. Just come to our 3-day seminar. It's only going to cost you $10,000 and you're going to learn. We're going to take you to bars and clubs for 3 days. And after that, magically, you're going to know how to pick up chicks.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about the self-help gurus, and I'm thinking they're teaching what they think is right or something, so they're kind of delusional.
This is the delusional seduction community gurus, the pickup artists like Mystery, Style, that whole crew. So this is one of those splinter groups, and they're out conducting. So, oh, what's that? I heard a little ding. Oh, it looks like my movie's done cooking. Bing! Brought it out of the oven. Okay, so this group is, you know, they're used to trashing Manhood Academy, saying we don't know what we're talking about, blah, 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 the usual, right? So they're conducting interviews with their groups, and they decide to interview one of their OG members, and it comes out that they saw us a long time ago. This was long before Manhood Academy was invented, I guess, before its inception.
What's OG?
Old gangster, original gangster, like an old school guy, like one of the original members of one of their groups. Yeah, right. So they're reminiscing back to the good old days. Oh, what do you remember? And they're reminiscing, and they're talking about a certain incident where me and Ladice were over hanging out at a bar and just talking to different guys, and you know, just were we meeting up with anybody? I don't know. We weren't meeting up with this group. We were never really. Let me think. We're never really involved in the seduction community, even like our very roots. The closest we came to being involved in the seduction community, I would say, would be probably meeting some guys from there, but we never, you know, attended like a boot camp or something like that, or got into, you know, listening to any of the gurus over there. Yeah, actually, we recorded one of the times we did listen to one of the gurus, which was Johnny Wolf, and it was hilarious, but that's another story. But we were never really involved in that group. We knew from the start that this was a scam, and we were basically pretty adamant about, you know, vocalizing, hey, these guys are saying XYZ works when you talk to people, so we believe that this is wrong, and here's our reasons. And they would never answer them. They would never dare to debate us, you know, have any discussion about it, because we realized very quickly that they're running a business, that their business was designed around scamming guys. And if we open their eyes, you know, their customers, to how they're getting scammed, they're going to lose all their business. So of course they can't just go, oh yeah, you're right. Or they can't afford to have that discussion. That's going to destroy their business model, their business scam. So
at that point they do realize that they are scamming people.
Well, it's half scam. It is half scam because a lot of it's marketing and it's been exposed. It's out there. You can go to like various sites out there. One of those is PUA Hate. There's lots of independent blogs and things that expose the seduction community as a scam, expose Mystery, Style, all those guys as a scam. We posted one of their gurus, Gunwitch, you know, shot some chick in the face recently. You know, so we like to just keep tabs and make sure that guys are up to date and up to speed and know that there's a big scam out there in the seduction community. And so we don't want them to waste their time, their effort, their money, you know, their hopes in these ridiculous fabricated systems of picking up women, picking up hot tens, picking up hot chicks. So we don't want them to get screwed over, so we like to give them fair warning. And so this particular group, it just happens to be coincidentally at the same bar we're going to, and I don't even particularly drink. I just want to just hang out with Dr. Ladice and show him a few things. This is prior to us having Manhood Academy open, and this is when Dr. Ladice is kind of green around the ears. And so we're practicing, just basically talking to people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm showing them a couple things. And these guys come in with their whole group, and they see us, and they're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Because I think their leader knows us. I think their leader knows about us because we posted this is kind of the time where we first started getting into discussions and debates with them and saying, hey, these theories are flawed. You guys are kind of don't know what you're doing. Here's how to actually do this, what you want to do. So I had some actual real world experience, and I was telling them this stuff doesn't gel with my real world experience. I know you guys may think that this is how you talk to people, but in actual practice, it doesn't work that way because this, and this will happen. And I didn't realize I was talking to just nerds on the computer who knew absolutely nothing about what they were talking about. I thought these guys were like legitimate guys because I was just coming in as a guy who was saying, "Oh yeah, I know what to do in certain instances, and I want to get your input because I don't know everything." And so I talked to these guys, and after a while, I was realizing something's not right here. Something's not gelling. These guys are saying one thing, and obviously in real life it doesn't work that way because I know I have experience out there talking to girls, talking to guys, and I know what works and what doesn't to a certain extent because I have real world experience. So I talked to these people, and I found out, oh, these guys are scammers. These guys are frauds. And this was kind of the early stage of that, and I met their leader, and this is when this guy had no clue what he was doing. Well, he was kind of in the beginning stages, yeah. So he had pretty much no clue what he was doing. He was just basically flying by the seat of his pants, doing trial and error things. And they met us over there, and this is one of their interviews with one of their members, one of their new guys who just came in with their group and saw us at this table. And I would say there was probably a bunch of different groups of like 2 or 3 chicks kind of standing around our table. We had eventually plopped down at the table somewhere in the middle of the bar, and we had chicks coming up to us at some point. We had 3 or 4 different chicks who used the same line. Do I know you from someplace? 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 It was just pretty hilarious. So we started realizing at that point, I remember when we were in there, we had talked to this girl at the beginning. When we very first went in the bar, we talked to this chick who was acting like a bitch. And we came up to talk to her. She just basically just shot us down. And I said to the dice, look, you see this bitch over here? The reason why she's not talking to us, because we don't have any perceived social value, meaning she doesn't think we're important enough to talk to. But to show her how malleable this whole concept of social value value. This is back when we used the term value in an inaccurate way. This isn't really. I'm not speaking strictly about value. Let me see if I can phrase this better. Value and implied value. Let me see if would that be more accurate to say implied value?
He saw you as cool guys.
Yeah, I saw you as cool guys. But this is like when people think of cool guys, they think like that's a static thing. Like you cannot change that. Like once you're cool, you cannot become uncool.
Yes.
So they see that as like a commodity, like a solid thing, like a tangible thing. Like you get a shoe, you either have the shoe or you don't have the shoe, right?
Well, the cool guy, for the most part, is a cool guy.
Oh, you are fucking retarded. Just shut up and pay attention. Right. Okay, so as a cool guy, in people's minds, this is like a solid thing. This is like having a car or not having a car. Either you get the car and you could feel it and you could drive it, so you know I have a car, or there's no car there's no steering wheel and you can't drive it and you say I don't have a car. God damn it, you're retarded. Just shut up. Okay, so in most people's minds, this is how the concept of cool works. They either have it or they don't. It's a commodity. It's a solid commodity, tangible commodity that you can have and possess and give or take from other people. And I wanted to expose the fallacy of this bullshit theory to people, and in particular, Dr. Ladice at the time. I said, look, this chick thinks we don't have that car. But what she doesn't realize is that people are dumb. People don't realize that they view value in this incorrect way. And to prove that, I'm going to show you that I'm going to make a car materialize out of thin air at some point in the night. That she's going to think we have this car now, that she's going to think we're cool. When right now she thinks, oh, these guys are just not cool guys. They don't have that cool car. They don't have that tangible commodity of cool. So throughout the night, we basically started talking to girls and brought them to the table, brought them over the table, et cetera, et cetera. And eventually, by other girls seeing that, they realized, not that they realized, but they started perceiving us to have this car. They were deluded into thinking, oh, these guys are important. These guys are cool. These guys are quote, quote, attractive. So then later in the night, she comes over to our table and says, oh, blah, 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 remember me, blah, blah, blah. And I said, bitch, I remember you. You were the rude bitch to us. And then she apologized. Why did she apologize to us? Because now we had that cool new car smell to us. We were the cool guys. So this, again, was just illustrating the point that people are easily deceived by the concept of, not social value, but coolness, of using social authority to create these, what do we call expectations? There you go. So we were creating social expectations out of thin air, expectations that didn't exist before, we created. So we were not cool before, and now suddenly we became cool halfway through the night. Why? Because we used our authority to manipulate everybody's expectations about us.
Everybody's perception.
Yes, everybody's perception of us changed. So in the beginning, we're just two guys entering a bar, just two dudes. And we're two not cool dudes because these hot chicks weren't talking to us. At the end of the night, we had chicks surrounding our table. I was able to, kiss a couple of them and had some come up to the table. And like you see, like you weren't there, but we had a bunch of them come up and say, "Oh, where do I know you from? Oh, haven't I seen you before?" The same line over and over. And it was hilarious to note that chicks have just as corny lines. If they were put in guys' shoes, you know how chicks typically make fun of guys who say, "Oh, where have I seen you from before, baby? Haven't we met someplace before?" They used to joke about that. That's exactly what chicks do too when they have no idea what they're doing.
I've never seen that.
We've seen hot chicks come up one after another going, "Haven't I seen you someplace before?"
Oh, nice.
And that's why chicks laugh about it, because it's just so predictable. It becomes predictable over time when enough guys will probably say the same thing. They come up to the girls and say, "Hey, haven't I seen you someplace before?" I mean, they're just as corny.
Right.
So it was just kind of a fun experience, just seeing that happen before our very eyes. And then we had all the guys from their particular group come over to our table and introduce themselves, and we'd hang out with them. And that was kind of before that whole animosity started between us and the seduction community, really, of, hey, you guys are cutting in our business model. You guys are telling new guys this, you're arguing with us and essentially exposing our business scam. So it's not profitable for us. So we need to start discrediting Manhood Academy and cut you guys loose, so to speak. So from that time on, we've had a very adversarial relationship with the seduction community, with this group in particular. And we actually enjoy it because we like that guys are finally learning that the seduction community is a fraud, and that social competence isn't something that some elite group of people have a monopoly on. That as a plumber, as a baker, as a CEO, whatever station in life you're in, you don't have to be the quote-unquote alpha male. We also debunk that lame myth, the alpha male, the beta male. Like, who are the top tier guys? And then there's in the seduction community, there's this belief that there's this 1% of guys who are cool and getting all the chicks and getting laid, and then the rest of the world is not. They're just losers, IT guys, not getting laid. Which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, because, how would the world be populated if none of these so-called nerds or dorks were ever getting laid?
Well, that brings up a question.
What's that?
Well, like a plumber getting a hot chick. I mean, a plumber, it's like he has to read all the books and develop his whole...
Well, a plumber doesn't necessarily have to get a hot chick. A plumber can get any chick, first of all. Okay, let's not say a plumber, but any guy could get any chick, really, like a fat chick, an ugly chick. So
yes.
It's not that they can't get a chick. It's just that they usually settle for what they believe they can get.
I would think as a plumber with not a very well-known expression, not read a lot of books, you would have to settle for what he gets.
Right. So maybe he wants a hot chick, or maybe he wants a different chick that he's currently with, but because he feels, oh, I'm not attractive enough, I don't know how to be attractive, or girls only go for certain type of guys, CEOs, hot chicks only go for actors, so I can never get this type of chick. I have to settle for this type of chick. That's what he thinks in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Okay.
Most people don't realize that being attractive to a girl has very little to do with their station in life, their looks, etc. And
yeah, unless they own their expression and all, do the other things involved.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, of course they have to have some training. It's like if you're a fisherman, or if you're a guy, you have the capacity to fish. You might have a bait, tackle, you might have a fishing pole, so you're ready to fish. But if you've never been taught how to, cast a line out, how to bait a hook, you won't catch any fish.
Yes.
So to a certain extent, you need some training, but it's not impossible for you, even by trial and error. If nobody teaches you if you practice for a long enough time, you can catch some fish on your own.
Yes.
But regardless, either way, it takes some training. There's some trial and error. There's some practice. There's some active thing you're doing to learn the skill of how to fish.
Yes.
But determining what fish you can catch, it really just has to do with your belief if you can catch a fish or not. Because most people just think, oh, I can't catch a fish. I can never be as good as these fishermen over here, so why bother? So they don't even make use of their fishing pole, of their baits that they went to the store and bought. In fact, most people don't even realize they have a fishing pole or that bait. They feel they just don't have access to it. Like, only the alpha males have access to fishing poles and bait. They don't realize that anybody can walk into a store and get a fishing pole and bait and be ready to fish. Now all it takes is just training. Because that's a big myth. I would say that's a big myth out there. Don't you think there's a myth out there that only certain types of guys can get certain types of girls?
yes, it is, but at the same time, it is like kind of true for them to sing because there's a lot involved. If they
I
want
would
to
say,
get
you know what? Even I held that delusion, that myth. But you know what breaks that myth?
training,
You know what breaks that myth?
no.
Actually getting a hot girl.
Yeah, but you had to do something to get the hot girl.
Yeah, but I actually had to actually get her, and then I realized, wait, I can get a hot girl. It is a myth. Before that, I thought, oh, there's no way I can get a hot girl. And then I got a hot girl, and I thought, well, it's a myth. It's just a what do they call it? A self-limiting belief, to use a pop psychology term. I hate using that term, self-limiting belief. I feel like I'm Deepak Chopra.
Yeah, the self-limiting belief is going to be there if they don't know about, if I have great expression.
Well, if they don't know they have the capacity, they don't know it's possible.
Yeah,
and plus other people are telling them, like the majority of society is reinforcing that myth. They're saying, yeah, that's right. You're not, typically girls say you're not in my league.
Yeah, if you don't have Alexis, why are you even going bother talking to the hot chick?
Exactly. So there's a lot of emasculated manginas out there that say, you know what? You can't get that chick because I can't get that chick. So obviously I'm in a higher league than you and I can't get her. So obviously you can't get her. You're not in her league. So they're reinforcing that myth. And then there's girls who are just retarded and saying, look, you're out of my league. I'm a hot chick. And there's no way you can get me. They don't even realize that they're gettable by regular average guys.
Yes. Okay, yes.
I mean, the hot chick I got said the same thing. She didn't realize I was that average guy. She did not realize that.
But now we know that doesn't matter, but if you didn't know.
Yeah, if you didn't know that, you'd be stuck. You'd be like, oh, it's not possible. Now, really, it's possible, but you still won't believe it unless you have the training and can do it and practice it and actually get it and see it happen.
Yes.
So a lot of things are possible until you have a realization that they're possible.
Realization and on the way, all the training.
And the training. Well, that's part of the realization. That's part of how you get a realization is by training. Realization is caused by training.
Doesn't magically happen.
It doesn't imagine. You don't magically have these epiphanies. You have to be doing something, and then all of a sudden, it clicks in after enough times of doing it.
Yes.
Just like when you learn math, you have to do math problems over and over, and then it clicks in, and then you realize you know the quadratic equation.
Yeah.
You know parabolas. You know sine, cosines. You know tangents. You know addition, multiplication, etc. You start seeing the forest and stop concentrating on the trees once you train.
Yes. And that reminds me, like earlier, I always used to be like, oh shit, did I miss something Plum said? Like, let me go read up, like every little thing. But now I realize, things are important, but as long as I'm going in the general direction. Yeah,
here's an example. Like, you take a tennis camp and you learn how to hit the ball. You're so stuck concentrating on the trees instead of realizing there's a big forest out there. You are like so concentrating on just your forehand, hitting the ball, that you think tennis is all about learning how to just hit that ball. But once you actually become good at it through training, you gain an epiphany. You gain a realization that tennis is not just hitting the ball. It's running around, placing the ball in a certain area. It's not even hitting the ball hard. It's just putting the ball in a certain spot that your opponent can't get to. And then you win the tennis game. So you start having a bigger realization. You start seeing the forest. But it's through that training of hitting the ball over and over that you gain this realization. It's not by somebody telling you, look, tennis is this game and it's like chess and you just hit the ball over here and your opponent can't get it and then you win the game. You won't have that realization if you don't train. If you've never hit a tennis ball in your life and you get on the court, the first thing you do is hit that ball. You'll forget all about strategy. You'll forget all about the game and you'll just concentrate on not being able to hit that ball.
Yes.
You won't have that realization. So training gives you that realization.
Okay.
That's why it's important to practice.
Yes.
Practice talking to actual people. Practice writing in the forum. Practice sharing your experiences. You know what's also crucial is why the forum is so crucial is the forum is your practice. It is your friend. It is your buddy. It is your social group. The reason why I also created this forum is not just to train you, but to also create a social group that you can have fun with. Like, for instance, when we first met you students, you guys were retarded nerds and dorks. We wanted nothing to do with you other than just to train you and then get rid of you, not have you around. But as you develop into socially competent people, you're more fun and more, quote, quote, not quote, quote, you're more attractive to be around. We want to hang out with you. Then we end up becoming friends with you. Then we have Manhood Academy hikes and you guys go on hikes with us. It's a fun experience. It's not just a grueling experience.
Yeah.
Now, I remember early on when we had you on a hike, it was a grueling experience because you caused problems on a hike with another student and it made me want to kill both of you. But eventually, when we go out and you become more socially competent, it becomes not a chore to hang out with. It's like raising a kid. In the beginning, it's a chore. But as the kid becomes more independent and learns how to function on his own as a normal adult person, it's fun to talk to that kid. It's fun to hang out with that kid. You get something back, something in return. So all our time and investment in this forum is to get a return, to create a social group here. You guys are always wondering how to create social groups. Well, we've kind of done a shortcut. We've created a social group basis for you right here. But we're hoping that to grow this so that the more men we can get here to Manhood Academy, the more you can see that you can take an active hand in creating your own social group. You're always worried about finding friends or making friends. This is the opportunity for you to make friends. Right here at the Academy. This is the opportunity to create friends that you want, to see how it is possible to shape your friends into friends that you want to hang out with, not friends that you're stuck with. A lot of times I used to think it was, I'm sorry?
I have made a few friends who I want to hang out with.
Yeah, that's not the point.
Alright, go back to your point.
Fuck, you make me want to kill myself a lot of times. Okay. The point is that before, I used to think that, yeah, you're stuck with your friends, whoever you meet. Hopefully you meet a good friend. Hopefully you don't meet too many bad friends. I didn't realize that as a socially competent person, you will meet good friends or bad friends, but guess what? You'll always shape them into good friends because eventually you realize that you are the person who determines how your friends behave. You, as a socially competent person, start influencing your friendships. You influence how this person interacts with you. And if you are not influencing how this person interacts with you, if they're the one that just influences you and you're the one who just follows them, you are not socially competent. You don't know how to influence social interactions to get what you want out of a social interaction.
Yes.
So this is what Manhood Academy is. It's to learn how to create friendships here with other students and to form them into the students you want them to that you want to interact with, to be the friends that you want to interact with in your life. If you realize that this is what Manhood Academy is for, it's going to become exciting for you. It's not going to become a chore. Because really, these are the same dorks and nerds who are annoying to you that you don't want to be friends with. You are that dork, and you are that nerd. You are that annoying guy that nobody wants to be friends with. But as you become more socially competent, you start to see in both yourself and in other people, oh, I am being shaped into a socially competent person, into an attractive person that people want to hang out with. And also, oh, I didn't realize I can also do that to other people. I essentially become like a Manhood Academy instructor. When I become socially competent, I'm able to influence and affect other people and make them socially competent. That removes the whole stigma of this just being an elitist group of people, some gurus who can teach you how to become good with women, how to make friends, how to handle a wife, a spouse, a relationship, how to interact at work with employees, peers, etc. Only the select group of life coaches or Tony Robbins, Oprah, Steve Harvey, only the select group of people, mystery, can teach you certain areas of social competence. If you want to learn about relationships, go to Seduction. If you want to learn about life coaching, go to Oprah. You can only go to these select group of people to find out this information. That's bullshit. And this is what Manhood Academy is for, to let you know that in a normal situation, in normal life, if you're a normally socially competent person, it should be a default setting for you to go out and make other people socially competent. It just makes a more harmonious, fun, enjoyable society to live in. That's why we're here. We're not here to keep the con going that there's only a select group of people who can teach you these things and you always have to come back running back to us if you want to learn these things. No, that's a scam. That's a con. We don't want you to fall for that. Enough people are already running that scam out there. Oprah's running that scam out there already. Tony Robbins is running that scam out there already. We don't want you to fall for that scam. We don't want you to think that there was a 20 set of DVDs on improving your marriage, improving your relationship that you need to buy in order to have the best relationship. That's a scam.
You want students to realize that they can shape the people they come across.
Yes, and that it's possible that they don't need to, sit on a mountain with the Dalai Lama just to learn how to get along with other people.
Okay.
We want people to realize it's within their grasp. It's possible. We're the model for doing it. You can do it too. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to get there.
Yeah. A lot of pain and practice.
There we go. Put in the effort. But a lot of it is not just putting the effort, it's putting the effort in the right direction. Most of the problem is you're going in the wrong direction because you got bullshit gurus out there teaching you crackpot theories. And you're stuck with that as your instruction, as your model of social behavior. So you think, oh, well, I can't do it because these guys already set up this ridiculously impossible model for me to follow. Can't do it. Wake up. We're running a podcast.
I am up. I'm wondering if I should talk about the next point.
Or you're wondering if you should talk about the next point or just create total silence for the audience?
Well, it's like sometimes when I jump in, you're going to talk over, so I'm like, let him finish talking.
Yes, but one day you will grow balls And despite the disagreements, despite me wanting to kill myself half the time when I hear you, one day you'll learn through practice that you need to keep going forward. You need to fail forward.
Right. Yeah, but at the same time, I want to be coherent when I'm saying something.
Well, guess what? You're largely incoherent, but you're still on the podcast anyway.
Okay.
If you keep pausing, if you keep falling asleep, I will not have you on the podcast anymore.
Alright.
So
I wasn't falling
it's more
asleep.
important that you're talking than you're speaking wisely or you're speaking intelligently. I don't expect you to speak intelligently. I'll worry about me taking care of the bulk of the content and you just being another live voice.
Alright. Okay, well, I think one of the previous ones we kind of were, I see in the points about talking, what is that? About online profile or something.
Online profile, what was that?
What to put exactly and have bots decide one for a test, okay?
Online dating profiles, what to put in there and have Boggs design one for a test. Yes, what we were going to do is we were going to have you make an online profile and we're going to decide what you put in there.
Alright.
So first we were going to have you make one, I thought. And then I thought we'd just test one out. And basically this would be a collective profile. Like every student on Manhood Academy would have a say in this profile.
Okay.
So we're like an Uber guy putting ourselves on a dating site like Plenty of Fish or something like that. Why don't you put one on Plenty of Fish?
And everybody can write a paragraph or something, yeah.
Well, my original thought was that you would design one and we just fix it. We just go over it. We talk about it, we discuss it, and then we make suggestions, and then we have it posted.
What about the logistics? I mean, like Craigslist, it seems like it doesn't work anymore. I don't know.
I think we should do two. We should do actually maybe do several. I think we should have you do one, an actual one.
Okay.
Then we should do like a second one has just like no picture, but just our attempt to attract people without a picture, just words alone.
Words.
And then we have a third one, which is just a totally fake profile, and we'll use a picture of like a ugly guy, and we'll try and make him as attractive as possible and get him as hot a chick as possible.
Wow, I never thought of that. That's
well, let's do that. You have to think of these things. You have to be innovative. You have to test. You have to put your money where your mouth is. Test your theory.
Yeah, the innovation. I mean, sometimes I have some ideas, and then a lot of times I don't. Which
well, those are my three thoughts for testing this out. So
right.
I would like to test these out. These three things.
Okay. Try to write one up.
So write one up. Then let's find a picture of collectively as students. Let's find a picture of an ugly guy. What we think of as an ugly guy, and we'll just make a fake profile for him and see if we can get a hot chick to talk to him, to go on a date with him.
Okay, an ugly guy like some from Google or something.
Anything, yeah, nerd, anything.
Alright.
We're not going to make him with like a hole in his head, but just ugly enough that he would be considered ugly by
just
normal
like
standards.
some glasses, some like nerd picture or something.
An Urkel, so to speak.
Yeah, Urkel. Okay.
A nerd, yes.
Alright, what else do you have?
Some guy who is unattractive, like a baseline. If we take all of our pictures collectively on the forum and we found a guy who was uglier than all of us, who we thought would have the most trouble getting a hot chick, and we used him as our standard.
We don't have pictures of all the guys.
That's not the point.
Okay.
The point is we're going to find a guy who is supposedly uglier than all of us.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Alright, what else is on there?
So that's one of our to-do lists. The other to-do list I also thought of today, or I kind of had an inkling about this idea, but I want to create a really simple storybook format to introduce the whole concept of why social interaction or social competence is necessary and how feminism is affecting guys today and emasculating them. So I wanted to make almost like a simple fairy tale, like a children's book. And also I wanted to make a movie, an iMovie,
Okay.
to demonstrate that.
Okay, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Even simpler than that.
Simpler.
Just like using a lot of pictures.
Yeah, like
Actually, I wanted to have like an interaction between a guy and a girl and start filming it, but that's just almost too complex. So I want to make a lot of pictures or like video clips and things like that. So I want to put that together and make a little movie. I enjoy making those little movies.
You could do the blue effects like you did with the expression one.
Which one was that?
The nerdumentary.
The nerd, yeah, exactly.
But
No, I actually want to have people film them actually doing it. So that would be more ambitious, but before I do that, I'm just going to try and make something simpler. A simpler
Filming
version.
a competent person interacting or just like average?
No, I don't want to show social interaction. I want to illustrate the problem today.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to show social competence. I just want to show what the situation in the world today in the simplest terms, because people don't realize what's going on. So I want to make like Google makes those little cute little videos to illustrate like a complex concept, like how a web browser works. I want to do that. I want to show why guys need social interaction competence. Like guys don't realize they're emasculated today, so I need to
is there
make a
really
video.
a problem? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what type of video I want to make.
Okay. Let's see what else is on What about this justification speech or something?
Justification speech from who's this?
Example.
What's that? Travo. I think we actually talked about this.
Oh, okay.
Travo took a break from the forum.
Okay.
He's no longer with us.
Okay.
Let's see.
What else? Grow your balls. I think you did that.
We covered that. How would you just like to see things?
Site names, reason.
Site names.
Sherwood Academy.
Did we talk about that last time?
No. I think last time you did it by yourself or something. I listened to it when I was going to school.
Yeah, I think at one point, I forgot what we were talking about, but we wanted to change the name of Manhood Academy to like the Sherwood Academy of Social Science, and then why did we do this? I totally forgot. I'm going to go back to the
drawing board.
No, I'm going to go back to, I think we made a post about it. The student
yeah,
lounge?
you did in the student lounge, like give recommendations.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me see what was in my head.
Yeah, to me, like the name Manhood Academy is pretty hardcore, and most people are like, what the fuck, Manhood.
Let's see. Site names. Here we go.
Also, I think, like, don't you want guys to get here before they start visiting?
I love this. We have a whole, I forgot I put up the poll of all the sites.
Yeah. Hey, don't you want guys to come over here before they, like, start venturing off into PUA sites? Like, I know it seems like they come here after that. You want to get them before they come there. So guys are going online, hey, how do I pick up chicks?
I don't care how we hook them, but I just want to hook them because I realize a lot of guys are going to be hooked for the wrong reasons. For instance, they want to learn how to fuck 20 chicks at once. They want to get a harem of chicks.
They're trying to pick up a chick, and that's how they're going to end up here.
Or they want to improve their life situation. Or they're having trouble with their girlfriend. Or they're like one guy was investigating our academy because he wanted to learn how to, how to improve his authority, or how to exercise authority, I should say. Properly for his business to grow. So for whatever reason, guys come here. A lot of times, I'd say most of the time, they come here for reasons that they don't realize are problematic. But we'll agree to take them for those reasons, and then slowly through the academy, we will introduce I'll give you a perfect illustration. This is a perfect example of expectation management. Like, we realize we have functional expectations that we want to give guys, and they have dysfunctional expectations. But we can't just hit them over the head and say, look, your expectations are wrong. Here's the right expectations. Just do what we tell you. That's not going to work. Guys are going to be turned off by that. We realize that we have to create an incentive for them to even want to listen to us in the first place.
Yes.
So, yes, we'll listen to their crazy theories and their crazy ideas in the beginning. We'll take them in. And then we're going to show them, by giving them the proper incentive, that these functional expectations over here at Manhood Academy are really what they should be adopting, and they should be discarding their dysfunctional expectations that they come in with. Like, for instance, guys who just want to, get laid, figure out how to pick up a chick at a bar. They have these dysfunctional expectations about relationships and views about how to attract women, etc. So they come with all these crazy ideas from what they've heard in the media, what they grew up with their peers, what they get from the seduction community, from the Cat in the Hat mystery. And they come here with all these crazy theories and say, look, here's what I think, and here's how it should work. Oh, by the way, teach me how to pick up chicks, or something along those lines.
But the majority, it's guys who want to get women in their lives. So that's
right. So that's fine. That's a perfectly legitimate expectation to have. But along the way, there's a lot of crazy thinking out there about how to do that, and how you view, like, for instance, how you view a relationship. A lot of guys don't realize that they're going to be happy in a relationship with a girl. Like, right now, there's guys out there that think, if I could just fuck as many chicks as possible, or if I could have as many girlfriends as possible, that's going to make me happy. They don't realize, because they have no experience with women, they have no experience with relationships, that's a totally dysfunctional goal to have.
Yes.
But I can't just go out there and say, look, that's totally wrong. That's not going to work for you, because I have experience, and I'm going to show you where the problems are going to come up. They don't even have that. They don't have that frame of reference yet.
Yes.
So if I just tell them that right off the bat, that's going to turn them off. So I have to give them some incentive to even listen to me.
Yes. Well, they want to learn how to attract.
So I got to, in some respects, I have to put up with their dysfunctional expectation and give them more incentive to start going, oh, this person's giving me an incentive. Now I'm going to listen to them. Now I'm going to listen to what they have to say. That's the same with the girls. Girls have all these crazy expectations right in the beginning, and you can't change them just right off the bat. For instance, I have a girlfriend who smoked. I'm not going to tell her the first date, look, I hate smoking. You're not allowed to smoke anymore. How long do you think I'd be dating her if I told her that right in the first 5 seconds of meeting her?
You ran pretty quickly, right?
Right. Because what?
Because there's not enough reason for her to change her.
Right. There's no reason for her to quit smoking. There's no incentive. I have to give her an incentive to do that.
And I just try to avoid using the word
Right. So there you go. So because I'm not giving people incentive, they're going to keep their crazy ideas until I do give them incentive. So I realize guys are going to come to Manhood Academy for whatever reason, for whatever wrong reasons they might have, right reasons,
90%
etc.
to how to pick up women, how to
Yeah. So those reasons why they come to Manhood Academy are irrelevant to me because to me they're just like a girl smoking. That's irrelevant to me. If it's some behavior that is changeable, I can change it. I know if I provide enough incentive, I can change it.
reason why they come to you is irrelevant.
Yes.
Them finding women in their life is a big reason.
Yeah, the reasons why they come to Manhood Academy are relevant to me. It's that eventually I can provide enough incentive to change their mind, to change their way they're thinking, to change their perspective on how they view social interaction and social competence. Like a lot of guys think that social competence equates to having the most money, having the best car, being the best looking guy, and having the hottest chick. That's their view of what it is to be socially competent or to be successful. We want to change that dysfunctional view for them.
So that's that one. Let's see.
Which name is the least faggiest for your home? This is the post we had. We put a poll up. The Sherwood Academy of Social Science got 2 votes. Cowboys and fucking Indians. Why did we put that? Bogler Academy, that got 1 vote. The Black Mustache, no votes. 2 Balls Institute of Ballology. How the fuck did that become a choice? Did I make this poll? I can't even believe I made this poll. Like 2 Balls Institute of Ballology. That is so ridiculously crazy and insane. I can't imagine me thinking of it, but yet it's so genius. I think that has my signature on it.
I love that.
But I can't believe I thought of that. Unless I took it from somebody else. I probably grabbed it from somebody else because I know a lot of students made suggestions. I don't want to take credit if another student made that suggestion. Let me see here. 2 balls. I think I actually did grab it from somebody. Let me think here.
Probably.
2
Maybe
balls.
Vic or somebody.
Let me go to the next page. There's another page here. I can't believe this thread actually went 2 pages. 2 balls. Let me see. Anybody else say 2 balls? Wow. Okay. 2 Balls Institute of Ballology. the 8 Hands of Death Academy. That was my suggestion. I love that suggestion. Cocaine U. Like Cocaine University. How I came up with that, don't ask me. Indian Method University. That might have been High School 101 suggestion. I don't remember.
Maybe.
Chaiwala Academy. Wallace Institute of Pain. I was thinking like William Wallace, like from Braveheart.
Braveheart, yeah.
Wallace Institute of Pain. Okay. Let's see what the student suggestions were and see if I can actually pull this together and figure out why we wanted to change this thing in the first place. Oh, here we go. Here's the first guy. Professor Plum says, I want to come up with a new site name because I think Manhood Academy doesn't really encapsulate what's going on here. Oh, yeah, I think that was it. I think when I was kind of considering Manhood Academy, it doesn't really say what I want it to say. Like, that's not the reason why we have this academy. It's not just manhood. Manhood is kind of like we're talking about masculinity, but we're also talking about social competence. We're talking about a lot of concepts, like a lot. I really wanted to capture the forest and not just a tree. It sounds kind of faggy to somebody who visits and wants to know more about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just came and you didn't know anything about the site and you thought, Manhood Academy, what is that? That sounds gay.
Exactly, yeah.
Sounds like dudes getting it on. I think if you do like a Google search for manhood or something like that, or you do like, it's like a porn site.
Like, by mistake, he went to manhood.com once and he went to some gay porn.
Like some gay porn site. I love that if people are trying to reach us and they just type in manhood.com, they go to like some gay porn site or some like foreskin site. How to circumcise yourself.
How to self-circumcision.
Yes. Although Sherwood Academy sounds just as faggy, it does have a Sherwood Force origin where the outlaws ran around. So I was trying to justify some of these names I was thinking of. Outlaws, blah, blah, blah. India Schmindia, Outlaw Academy. Mr. Fiddler, who's no longer with us, said, Social Research Center for Making Manhood Great for All Academy. It's a little wordy. Or ASIS Academy for Socially Inept Spazoids. I understand some of these guys are making funny suggestions, but we didn't want it to be so cornball. I mean, it was kind of tongue-in-cheek for us, but I don't want to alienate new people who are coming to the site and going, what the fuck? I don't get this joke. Yeah, great. Inside joke. Good for you. Bogler Academy is in the lead. It does have a certain ring to it that I feel won't be able to get enough of. As always, Dr. the Dice makes suggestions based on what appeases him. Never thinking about the good of visitors who are coming to the site and have no clue what's going on and think we're totally insane. You know what? I have to always rein myself in because on one hand, I'm not concerned about what visitors are thinking when they first come here. I'm just like, I want to make this cozy for me. So I don't really care what the name is. I think 8 Hands of Death Academy is fine. But on the other hand, I realize I have to be somewhat responsible and say, look, you're a new guy here. You won't have any clue what we're talking about if we say 8 Hands of Death Academy. As cool as that sounds to me, it'll sound wacky and retarded to other people. So I don't want to totally alienate them right off the
Yeah. You don't want something bizarre.
Vic said, I think Sausage Fest Academy might attract a large demographic. Oh, here's suggestions from Bogler. Sherwood Academy, Plum Academy. Of course, you and your idol worship. Plum Academy, you want to just name it right after me? Right after Professor Plum?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Because it's going to sound like you're a fag beating off to me. The Academy.
Didn't you like Superman when you were a little kid?
I guess.
You didn't beat up
I don't want to
guy?
be everybody's Superman, sorry.
Okay.
The Academy. The Crew.
The point was you didn't beat up the Superman. That was the point.
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
The Crew. The Crew. I like how you think like nobody else will have thought of these. The Crew. The Forum. These are like so generic. They say absolutely nothing. The Crew. The Forum. The whole reason about changing the name was, the reason why I want to change it was to make it less generic, to give it a specific direction, to let people know what we were talking about. The Crew. The Forum saying nothing. Think back. Nothing.
I didn't realize that was the what you were trying to do with
Thinking
that.
crew. I like this. This implies that everybody else is retarded. Everybody else in the world isn't thinking. We're the thinking crew. Everybody else is not thinking.
You're thinking in the right direction.
Oh, wow. These are all right for, like, satire. If people got a hold of these, they'd be going, like, thinking crew. Imagine if we named this Think Tank 101, according to your suggestion. People would be going, what? Are you fucking out of your mind? M4 schools? What? What is that?
It's like W3 schools for HTML, M4 schools for Manhood.
I had no idea what you were referring to there. I said, what?
W3 schools you can learn PHP and stuff.
Here's Camp Travis's Morningwood Academy. I actually like that because it had like a double innuendo connotation.
Yeah, double innuendo.
Morningwood.
Like the Axe commercial.
Morningwood Academy. Classic.
Have you seen those Axe commercials in South Park and stuff?
Did I? I don't know if I have it.
They're like strong enough to wash your balls or something. Girls want to play with clean balls.
Men's Institute of Social Proficiency. A little wordy.
Yeah, that's too. I
it
thought
sounded like so pretentious to me. Like
I thought you want something short and sweet. You know?
Yeah,
like,
but not like pretentious. I mean, that I wouldn't mind as a descriptive name, but it just sounds kind of pretentious to me. Social proficiency.
Yeah, no, I wasn't referring to that. It's like.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. You want something like short and sweet. Yeah, the best.
Yeah, like Dig.com or something.
Yeah, something sweet. Well.
Not Facebook, Manbook.
Academy of Social Competence from Dionysus.
That's short and sweet, dude. It's quick.
Social Knights of America. High school one.
I like that.
Knights. Knights.
Knights in armor.
Not quite what I was going for. Knights.
Oh, I like that PLC. Plum and
Ladice College.
See, he does stuff similar to me, like where I just do Plum Academy, he does Plum and Ladice College.
I think you're hallucinating that he looks up to you. Like he's got a picture of Bogler on his wall.
No, I said he does stuff similar to
what I do. You notice that so much. You are such a guy looking for an excuse. Testosterone University. Nah, sounds too gay. Slumdog Academy. I like that one, but of course I don't think too many people would appreciate it. Third World Academy.
Why not Slumdog Academy? What's wrong with it?
I don't think enough people will relate to what he's implying or what he's talking about. So it sounds just. Testicle Academy University. No. Man of the House Academy. Nah. Skull Drudgery. No. Skull Drudgery University. Smart Motherfuckers Academy. No. I'm surprised most of these people don't understand the problem with calling yourself like smart or like intelligent, super smart, super cool. It's like saying super cool academy. Indian people. So literal. Yet so lost.
Very literal.
Attraction Academy? No. Dating Academy? No. That's not what we want to emphasize. This is not just about, getting your dick wet Academy.
Let's see. Short and sweet, man.
Mystery 2.0. Hilarious.
M for schools.
I think we're done here. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Because we've gone on for, let me see how long we've gone for. I think we've gone for an hour at least.
Hold on, let's make sure
Anything else you want to cover?
What would you like to see grow this year? What are you having the most trouble with? What would you like to see more of?
Yes.
Keep in mind, we'll burn half of these. Okay. I guess nobody really told you what they wanted.
What would you like to see happen this year for your academy? Your Manhood Academy. What would you... See, here's the problem here. I should really be asking this question to competent people, because competent people could actually give me suggestions about what they want to see grow this year. And this is not to say that we don't have intelligent students here. We definitely have intelligent people here. We have people who have great ideas, but the main problem is they have trouble expressing those ideas. They have trouble, growing balls to say these things out loud. So it's kind of frustrating because I know there's a lot of bright people at this academy here, but they are not expressing their ideas. They're not sharing their ideas, and they don't see how this is a detriment to their own academy, to their own growth here. We want to make this an environment where everybody's talking.
Yes.
Everybody's sharing, everybody's participating.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Plum Academy. This is not Ladice Academy. This is your academy.
Yes, the Students' Academy.
Yes. The more you realize that, the better it will become. So we want to know what you guys have for ideas for what you want to do, what you're having the most trouble with, what we should be addressing.
Okay.
What you want to do to grow this year. And it's problematic. I understand if I say, what are you having the most trouble with? Well, you're not qualified and competent enough to comment on that. You really don't know what you have trouble with. But on the other hand, there are certain areas where you have experience, where you're experiencing a lot of trouble. So in one sense, you guys give us the symptoms, and our job is to cover the root of your problem. So you might give us, you might say one of your troubles is attracting women. Well, we're going to say, no, duh, you're not attracting women because of X, Y, and Z that you're not covering, which is the root of your problem. So on one hand, it was kind of idealistic to ask these questions, but on the other hand, I do actually want your input for how you want things to grow this year at Manhood Academy, what you're having trouble with, what you would like to see more of at Manhood Academy. What do you like about Manhood Academy that you want to see more of? At the end, I said, keep in mind we'll burn half of these. No, I actually do care about the student input here.
Okay.
I'm granted, I'm going to probably not listen to half of it because some of it's going to be discombobulated and crazy. But there is genuine input that needs to be heard and should be addressed. So this is that opportunity. I think you guys should participate and say, hey, this is what I want to see more of. This is what I want to grow here. This is what we're having trouble with at Manhood Academy. Even maybe suggestions, what you don't like about Manhood Academy that you want to see changed. Are there things you disagree with? Things you don't like about Manhood Academy? Let us know.
Okay. Well, one thing I definitely see is we'll test out the online profile, because that to me seems like when you're practicing your written expression on here, the first direct place where you can experiment with that is in an online profile.
Yeah, I think a lot of times since you guys aren't very proficient talking to people in person, and I hate using the internet to practice because this is one of the most artificial environments around. But that being said, it is a great place if you're motivated enough to definitely find people to talk with, both men and women. And I'm sure the majority of you guys are worried about attracting chicks, so there's a lot of online dating sites where you can practice this stuff. There's a lot of chat rooms you can practice this stuff in. MySpace, wherever you guys have. MySpace, isn't that going down now? It's Facebook. Yeah, Facebook all by itself.
Yes.
Yeah, as much as I hate Fagbook, there is a lot of opportunity for you guys to practice social interaction. You can update your status. You can put more sexy photos on there. Whatever. No, that's not the point. The point is you can talk to people through your Facebook posts or whatever medium you choose to use, dating sites, what have you. There's a lot of opportunities to practice getting good to the point where you don't have to rely on them and you can start talking to people in person. That is our goal.
Okay. And here's one point I remembered,
yes,
something like liking what I like is more important than Plum liking what I like.
Oh, that had to do with one of the posts, or no, it was something in the chat room. I think, yeah. High School 101 changed either his name or his post or something.
Yeah,
I think the title of his conveying his person blog or something like that. I don't know. He changed one of those things, and he said, "Do you like this better? Like that better?" And I hate when he does that because I don't want him fishing for my approval. Yes, it's understandable that you guys want approval from your instructors. That's fine, but I don't want you to fish for it. I want you to just merit it. If you merit it, I want to give it to you. But I don't want you fishing for it. I don't want you saying, look, I did this. Now pat me on the back. That's the most fucking annoying thing around.
How else would you do it?
You just do it. If you're just doing the things that we want, if you're participating at Manhood Academy, I want to validate that. I want to say something. I want to compliment you. I want to comment on your progress. I want to comment on your entry, your post, whatever.
So just do it rather than doing it and asking?
Yes, exactly. It's like when I make a post, because it's insightful, because it's attractive, because it's whatever, people will comment on that. I want you guys to start realizing that.
Instead of hey, look, Daddy.
Instead of you guys are going, look here, look at, compliment this macaroni picture I made.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, fuck that macaroni picture. If I was your dad, I'd be forced to compliment it because I'm in charge of making you feel good about your creations and so that you won't be discouraged in the future. And in some respects, and in some respects, I am your dad as your instructor. I'm a model for you. Yeah, so I realize there's that responsibility. I'm that coach. I need to encourage you and say, good job, even if you're doing not the greatest job possible. But on the other hand, I want you to also learn that you need to learn how to become competent. And that's not just by fishing for validation, fishing for approval from your instructors. It's by doing competent work. It's by becoming competent through practice that you start meriting. You start seeing this is really what happens in the real world. Because in the real world, when mommy and daddy aren't there to hold your hand, when instructors aren't there, our chick's gonna go, oh, that you did a great try. That was a good move for a dork, but unfortunately, I can't suck your dick. I'm sorry. Is she gonna say that to you? She's not even gonna look at you. So we're trying to get you out of the nest. We're trying to get you out of the cocoon that you've built around yourself already.
Okay. And one more thing is, I remember you talked about it in one of the previous conversations.
Oh, that's also, wait, before I forget, that's also one of the names I wanted to suggest was the nest. When I was washing dishes, I was thinking, this is like a nest.
Yes.
And you guys are like baby birds. Our goal is not to keep you in the nest forever. Our goal is to get you out of the nest so you can fly on your own. Okay. Now, we always want to make Manhood Academy into like a fun place for you guys, like a hangout, like a not like a nerdy place where we come together, but like
a little playground.
Like a playground in a sense that this is like a meeting place. Like if you're a cool guy, a computer won't be a detriment to you. If you're a nerd, it's going to suck away all your life force. It's going to suck away all your energy for communicating with other people in real life. We don't want that to happen. We want you to learn how to become cool guys so you can use Manhood Academy as a springboard, like me and Dr. Ladice talk to each other on Manhood Academy sometimes in the chat room. But we're not hampered by that. We're not hindered by that. This doesn't become our crutch. This doesn't become our permanent breast to suck on. We use Manhood Academy. We can go, hey, I can go in the chat room right now. I can go, hey, Bogler. Let's not beat off in the chat room together. Instead, let's go for a hike. See, as a socially competent person, now you can respond to that and go, yes. We'll use this chat room technology to communicate with each other and go for a hike because we're socially competent people. We know how to get along in real life. That's what we want Manhood Academy to be. We want it to be this gathering point for you guys because guys don't have a convenient way. It's not always convenient to have 20 phone numbers and to call 20 friends when you can just have a one central meeting point. But the meeting point should be for you to meet in person, not to hinder you to say, well, in lieu of meeting all 20 of us. Instead of us getting together, we'll just chat in the chat room. Okay. No, we don't want that to happen. You understand the danger of that happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course you don't. I'm going to explain it anyway. We don't want you guys to be buddies online so that you become permanent online buddies. The goal of you having buddies online is so that you eventually take those buddies and meet in person. And that will be the source of your friendship is your in-person meeting. Now, of course, there's buddies who you can't meet with physically. Like there's a lot of guys around the world. That's fine. We also want that to be for that purpose, that you guys can come together and talk to people that aren't in your area, that are your buddies online. That's what we want this Manhood Academy to become, the central meeting point for you guys. But we want it to be so that it'll blossom so that you guys can, yes, have this online life where there's buddies around the world that you can meet with online, and maybe perhaps you'll set up opportunities where you guys can fly and meet each other or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
or we have like a conference and we all get together. That'd be great too. But the goal is always so that we would use that to meet in person, to meet buddies in person.
In person's always the way, always the best.
Yes, exactly. So that's what we're training you to realize. But we also want Manhood Academy to be able to facilitate that for you, to be a meeting place for you. We want you to be able to share your entries, share things you saw on the internet that were funny, that affected you. But ultimately, we want the sharing to take place live, in person, not here. Yes, it's great that we have that here. We can always reference and go back to that. We can share that online experience. That's great. We should have that. I'm not saying to get rid of that. I'm saying have that, but don't let it hamper you. Let it be something to facilitate that, not hinder that.
Yeah, be the launch pad.
Be the launch pad. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you talking about? That went on forever.
Yeah, all right, so done with that. I remember in one of the previous podcasts you were talking about, I think you were doing it by yourself, about about having a model conversation.
Having a model conversation.
It's like where how you and Dice talk about things, and I'm thinking over time, that'll become you should have more models.
Here's a model conversation. I'm having a model conversation with you right now.
Yes, the only problem with that is we still talk about a lot about pleasure. It's
right.
More
we talk about talking. We talk about how to have the model conversation instead of having the model conversation.
Keep going towards oh man, I did this the other day.
Yes.
Oh, I saw this, and oh, did it?
Okay.
And I mean, hopefully, I mean, I'm not if I'm there, but like it should progress towards that where then students hear that, oh, okay.
Right.
Right.
The model
then,
conversation.
They get used to hearing more and more model conversations rather than then they stop saying stuff like, oh, I was.
So you want us to do one podcast where we just have a model conversation?
And keep going towards model conversations, and then even so that way, even when people talk in the chat, they start emulating the model conversation, like they just start talking about things.
Well, that's what we do. When we're in the chat room, we want to have that experience. We want to start having that experience. But the more you guys start talking, the more we can practice that.
Yeah, okay. But also in the podcast too, if like, part of it or something, we go towards the direction.
Okay, so we want to have more of a model conversation. Instead of talking about talking, we want to have like, maybe we just talk about movies or something, or just something where you get to see us interacting.
Right now, like we have like a 95% talking about talking because it's just required where you want to get the theory across.
Right.
But then
we want to get that theory across, and then yes, we want to model that behavior. So I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So and we want to progress towards that like next podcast. Except like, I mean, I'm sure I have things to talk about.
That's fine if we want to bring up issues on the forum, which I think we should. But also, I definitely like to have just model conversations. I think that's a good idea.
So, but maybe I still have to like make some podcast notes and like then talk about.
Yeah, it's always good to have the reason why I make these notes is so that we'll have things to talk about. So there's not just dead air. Like in a regular conversation, you don't have notes because you're not worried about the other audience members listening to you. But because we're having a conversation with other people involved, we have to have notes so we don't just have like dead silence for 20 minutes.
But then I'm thinking, how would you do a model conversation with notes? I guess you can. It won't be. It'd be
well,
kind of organic,
the only reason we would use the notes is to have things to talk about. If we were like, it's hard to have a model conversation with an audience because I'm always have the audience in the back of my mind in the sense that I'm trying to entertain them. I'm trying to give them something enjoyable to participate in, to listen to. Not participate, but to listen to, because they can't interact. If they could interact, that would make it even more enjoyable. But the audience can't interact with us while we're having this model conversation. So,
you can still do it to a certain degree, like you've done with the dice.
We've done it with the dice. Like, you and me can have the same thing. Like, we could talk right now. We could practice a model conversation right now. You want to practice one?
You can start off.
Maybe I would like to talk about not talking about talking. Let's talk about your day. Let's talk about how things are going with you. Let's pretend we're having a model. Let's pretend you're a socially competent person, and actually, we'll pretend this. We'll pretend I'm the socially competent person, and you're the socially incompetent person, and so you'll represent the socially incompetent person. Okay. You got to pretend really hard. You got to make believe that you're not an instructor at Man Academy. Okay, I'm going to make believe that I know what I'm doing, and you got to make believe that you don't know what you're doing. I'm hilarious. No, I'm being hilarious here. No.
All right, okay.
But we're going to have a regular conversation, and I'm going to show you what to do as a competent person to correct or to bring out what you want from the other person.
Yes. Okay.
Versus just sitting back passively. Because if I wasn't here, we'd have a different conversation. There'd be a different conversation going on. For instance, like the conversations you and Zyger have or High School 101 has, they'd be different conversations.
Yes.
So we're going to see how to have a conversation where I want to get what I want out of it.
Yes.
And we're going to see how that happens. So we're going to show a model conversation here. Okay. So let's talk about what's going on. What's going on with you? I don't know.
The usual routine work, writing stuff.
Right off the bat, you see?
Information.
You see how I asked you a question? Now I'm going to break character here. We're supposed to be having a model conversation, but I need to illustrate a point here.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what's going to happen in the model conversation. You're going to be doing things that break my violate my expectations. So I ask you something, and you just sat there staring at the screen. And I realize in podcast land, nobody can hear you. So that staring at the screen equates to just dead silence. Nothing going on. I don't mind silence, but you are unaware of the audience. I am more aware of the audience than you are, so I'm more aware of the silence. I don't mind the silence, but I'm worried that you will just completely forget to talk and just sit there for a long periods of time. And so this becomes like a drudgery podcast instead of an entertaining podcast. So it's violating one of my expectations. So as a person who is socially competent, I now have to get my expectation met. Yeah. So, or I'm trying to get my expectation met, I should say. Not that I have to.
So
I will prompt you, or I will do something to indicate you're violating my expectation. So in that case, I went, which is basically saying, I'm saying hurry up in slang, is I'm kind of mocking you so that I'm applying pain to say, look, meet my expectation. So this is not the most ideal way, but we're kind of familiar with each other, so it's okay in a sense that I'm mocking you, but I'm letting you know this is how certain ways to apply pain or to apply pleasure. Like if I like something you said, that's right, so I'll show some excitement. So there's different ways to apply pain and pleasure. So that's what we're going to practice now. So again, we're going to go back. We're going to figure it all out and go back into character. Beep. You're back to your magically incompetent self. I'm back to my magically cool guy. I'm like, who's a cool guy? I'm like Brad Pitt. Who's a cool buddy? Who's a cool buddy?
cool buddy for me on the forum?
We need a cool buddy. No, a cool buddy in like celebrity life or real life or whatever life.
Brad Pitt, whatever.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Okay,
Tom Cruise.
I'm Tom Cruise. I'm Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
What's up, Dad?
Woo!
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. What's going on, bro?
Good to see you after so many days.
Yeah, bro. What's going on?
I see you on my computer screen, but at least I got to see you.
Yeah, I know. What's been happening with you? Have you been just sitting at the computer, just hanging out online?
For the most part, I've been going to class.
Going to class? What
How
class?
about you tell me what's been going on with you?
What class?
An MBA class.
An MBA class? You're in the NBA. You're playing the NBA now.
Yeah, I just took one class. It's like,
so you learn how to dunk or what? You learn how to shoot, pass, or what?
MBA.
NBA? With Jordan? What do you mean?
M for monster.
Oh, MBA. So you're in an MBA class. What's MBA?
Yes. A Master of Business Administration.
Masters of Business Administration. What's that for?
Ideally, they teach you how to manage a company or something along those lines.
Oh, sweet. You're going to be a businessman.
When you want to, say, promote in your company, you want to get into management, so this teaches you the management.
Does it teach you how to, like, run a school, run a company, run a what? I mean...
Ideally, yeah. It teaches you about business economics, teach you about organizational behavior.
Oh, it's really good. Does it teach you how to start a business from the ground up? Like what costs you'll incur?
Like, they teach you what's a corporation, what is involved, and stuff like that, yes, if you take the right classes.
So, like, if you took an MBA or you graduated and you got your MBA, you're trying to get your MBA, right?
Yes.
If you got your MBA, will you be able to, if you have an idea, will you be able to start your own company from the ground up?
Exactly. So they have different concentrations. They have one called entrepreneurship, which will do what you were talking about.
That's awesome. I can't wait till you start to help out at Manhood Academy with your MBA. That's going to be so awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
I definitely always wanted to start a company someday, so...
That's going to be awesome. You'll have all the business savvy in your head.
Yes, except I need to step up the number of classes I'm taking. I'm taking one class right now.
One class? How about taking like 5 classes? How about that? How about not being lazy?
That's true. Well, I'm trying to get in the habit of, being disciplined and reading and,
I want to start reading some books. You know that? I haven't read a book in a long time.
Yeah, you mentioned something about Robinson Crusoe or something.
I need to write that down. You know that? Because sometimes I'm so tempted to just watch a movie, but...
No, write it down. And sometimes I feel like, dude, your books, like, I mean, they're nice because, 1960s, 1940s. How about mentioning some current books? I know The Stand is current. But
yeah, they're different. But that just goes to show you, I don't read lately. I just haven't read lately.
Okay, well, yeah. So if you read something more current...
How about you read something you do like a book report on it? How about that?
How about this? I might read this book called
I like how you have to wait for my recommendations, as if you can't fucking just go to the bookstore and pick up a book and start reading the first few pages. I don't want to read the wrong books. I might learn the wrong things. You know how I figure out if I'm reading the wrong book? I start reading, I go, this is retarded. That's how I know it's the wrong book. And I start reading, I go, I like this. I know I'm reading the right book. See?
Yeah, I started doing that with movies. So I'm like,
that's exactly what I do with movies. Same thing with food. It's shocking how crazy it is for me to find the right book, the right movie, the right food.
Alright, so in my MBA class, I have to read this book about how Pixar was formed, one of your favorite movie companies.
Pixar, yes.
So I'm going to read that, and I'll do a book report when I'm done.
That's awesome.
Pixar Touch. That tells you about how Pixar was formed and the behind the scenes.
How Pixar was formed. Ah, yes.
So I'll do a book report when I'm done with that book.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. And I like the class that I'm taking right now, even though it's a foo-foo class, organizational behavior. It's all theoretical.
Organizational behavior. Buy your planner, your day planner. Make sure you have a cell phone.
No. How organizations behave, not organizing.
Oh, how organizations behave. Gotcha.
Exactly. So
What's
it's
that?
like how people learn, how people behave, that kind of shit.
Are you a visual learner or an audio learner? I fucking hate that. That is the most retarded nonsense ever.
It's like foo-foo shit.
It's assuming that like every guy is a different species from the other guy. You're a special audio learner. You're different than the visual learner. You know how I can teach you how to be a visual learner if you're an audio learner, or how to be an audio learner if you're a visual learner? Watch. Okay, watch. I'm gonna demonstrate it. The audience won't be able to see it, but you're gonna be able to see it. Okay. I want you to tell me I'm gonna teach you something. Which is harder to learn? Audio or visual or
for me, audio, because I'm a visual learner, dude. I like to see it.
You like to see it, so audio is tougher. Okay, so I'm gonna play an audio presentation. I'm gonna play like a podcast in class. Boop, I'm a professor, and then you're gonna raise your hand and say, okay, you're gonna object and say, hey, sorry, okay, wait, hold on, let me play the podcast. Boop, okay, students, I have an audio presentation here. This is gonna be an audio presentation for the rest of our classes. We're gonna run like this, and we're just gonna learn through these podcasts that I'm gonna play right now. Beep.
Professor, I'm a visual learner. Come on, you gotta take that into consideration. I can't believe you're gonna have the whole class with audio. That doesn't make sense.
I'm sorry, Bogler. If you have a question, could you please raise your hand? Yes, Bogler. What's your question, please?
You just said you're gonna have all audios.
Yeah.
I'm visual, like to see things, so I'd like some slides to go along with it.
Oh,
You
you're a
just have an
visual.
audio.
You're a visual learner, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you please come down to the front of the class, please? Yeah. Come down through the middle aisle here.
Why do you want me to do
Just
that?
please come down here. I'm gonna help you with your visual learning, and I'm gonna help you with your audio learning. Just come down here, please.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So you're walking down the middle class. Okay.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
watch this.
Okay.
Oh, right in your nuts. See,
Whoa.
I just hit you right in your nuts.
What's wrong with you, Professor?
Oh, watch. Oh, you can right in your nuts. See that?
Stop it, Professor.
Yeah. See, now, guess what? You just learned how to learn through audio, through your ears, through audio learning. You've graduated from my audio learning program. You're now ready to learn audio through audioly. I want to keep saying audioly. You have now learned audioly.
Okay.
You have perfected. Yeah, it's not you guess. The only reason why you're saying you guess is because I didn't actually hit you in the nuts. If I could actually hit you in the nuts, you would become an audio learner overnight. Not just overnight, in about 2 seconds. You'd be an audio learner.
Okay.
That's my program.
All right.
There's no such thing as an audio learner, a visual learner, a guy who learns on cats, a guy who learns by eating hot dogs. There's one learner, a disciplined learner. The only people who learn things are disciplined people. How do you get disciplined, Bogler? How do you get self-discipline?
Like when you're growing up, somebody applies pain to you.
Yes, somebody disciplines you. The
Yeah.
reason why you're an audio learner is what?
No, you mean visual learner.
Why you're a visual learner is why.
'Cause
Why aren't
my
you an
dad-
audio learner? Why are you only a visual learner?
My dad didn't kick my ass.
Yes,
when
he
I-
didn't fucking hit you in the balls hard enough. If he'd kick your ass, you'd be an audio, visual, microwave, hot dog, taco learner. You could learn on a bus. You could learn underwater. You would have no problems.
Yes. Oh, dude, here you go.
Whoa,
These
what?
are the different kind of learners. Okay. Accommodating learners.
Accommodate? I can't wait to hear these.
Diverging learners.
Diverging
assimilating
learners.
And converging. And fuck, I wish I had my fucking PowerPoint, dude. And so based on what I was in the group of the converging learners.
What's a converging learner?
Okay. Oh shit, dude, I wish I had my PowerPoint. Here it says, when there's too many convergers, you make hasty decisions.
Do we have to endure this? I don't even
Never
want
mind.
to endure this. Please,
Next time I found my PowerPoint, I'll tell you what it is exactly. It's funny.
please, help me. Help me.
Yeah, I can't find my PowerPoint now. But, yeah.
Oh, please help me.
So tell me what's going on with you, dude, since I've gone on about
Well,
my
bro,
stuff.
it appears that somebody has just commented on the video, how to kill your inner mangina.
Oh, nice.
They've
the
said,
mangina thing. And I liked your video, dude, the one you just posted. I like the ending. Are
Yeah.
you intrigued or something? Join, man. I like the ending, like the effect of it. Boom.
it said, are you disturbed?
Disturbed, yeah, I like that. and the cool sound effect and the
Yes.
visual effect, it had a good impact. I like that part.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yes.
The guy asks, are you a fellow MRA? He's asking if we're a men's rights activist. I don't know how to answer that. Yes, we care about men's rights, but I am not an MRA because those guys are emasculated emo fags.
Oh, yes.
I-
Dude, I found it. Okay. Go on.
What did you find?
What it means to be an accommodating learner.
I don't care. I don't even want to deal with that right now. Oh, you boggles. You
Well,
boggles.
this is what they're teaching me in school.
I
Look at
know,
my
I
pie
know.
chart.
It's amazing. It's amazing how you think people want to see a pie chart of that. I know. The only other thing I wanted to share with you is that these chicks, these cunts, wanted to conduct an interview with us.
Okay.
And of course, she's a feminist, two-faced cunt. So she says,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, I'm so nice
Sherry.
and sweet. I'm Sherry, dear Doctor Ladice and Professor Plum.
You know what they
Got
call
a
that on
comment here today on my Be Vulnerable New Year's resolution post. Such a very interesting perspective, and I'm so intrigued by your Manhood
Dude.
Academy. Would you be interested in sharing your work with us?
I have
All
to
the
interject.
best, Sherry,
interject.
editor from the Stir. I'm sweet."
That's like the ambush callers on the Lycus.
Yeah.
They were
You know
really
what?
sweet.
Yeah, but what this cunt doesn't understand is the reason why ambush callers like calling the Lycus and act really sweet because they think like Lycus is afraid of talking to them, like he won't address a caller that hates him or something. So they start off with these like super sweet comments, thinking they're being all clever. Oh yeah, I really appreciated that, but then and he like always catches them because it's like old shtick. In this case, you can't hear her voice, but. She's trying to attempt the same ploy. The difference is we're taking her at face value. We're assuming that she actually wants to conduct a real interview with us. So she asks us like 15 questions or something like that, and we have no problems answering them. Even if they're controversial, they're leading questions. Some of these are, they're. Let me see if I can find one of these questions that demonstrates this. As a believer that marriage can be equal, there is so much that disturbs me about this advice. You compare the husband-wife relationship to that of a parent-child. How exactly is that supposed to work? Do you really think this type of parent-child or master-slave relationship can be fulfilling for a woman? Right? So it's kind of a leading question. It's kind of assuming that, yeah, you guys are wrong. Your advice is disturbing, right?
Yeah.
So she's hoping that we'll hang ourselves with our own answer. Like, we'll just give some retarded hick answer, and we'll be like, yeah, we just feel like, chicks should be sucking our dicks and be our slaves, and they're total idiots, and we're just cool guys, and, bro, we'll just bro it out with them. Like, she's expecting us to give some totally bonehead, retarded answer, and then she's going to snicker and go run to her magazine and post it.
Okay.
So she's going to post her totally reasonable questions and say, haha, we caught you. We asked these totally super professional questions, and then these men were so Neanderthalic, they're so barbaric that they just made these ignorant, pig, misogynist replies. Like, that's what she really thought we were going to do. Well,
yeah,
lo
but
and
regardless
behold,
of what you say, she's going to try to portray it that way.
Yeah, but she didn't need to portray it that way. She was hoping that we just give these retarded answers and her reasonable questions would speak for themselves, right?
Okay,
She's a totally reasonable, professional woman, and look at these men. They're just total misogynistic pigs. Look at their answers. She was hoping that was what was going to happen.
The outcome, yeah.
But we gave such thoughtful, reasonable, rational, truthful answers that she got offended. She became perplexed. She didn't know what to do with these answers. Oh my gosh, they're making me look stupid because these answers actually make sense. So what am I going to do? I'm going to scrap the interview. I'm going to write my own interview. In fact, I'm not even going to interview them. I'm just going to make my own answers up for them. That's what she did.
Put it out of context, yeah.
Yeah, but she's so fucking dumb. She doesn't think that there's a link to that. Like, we're not going to link to the original interview. Like, we're not going to post her original questions.
Yeah, that's the mind of a feminist, I guess. She's only very short-sighted. She's not thinking of that.
Look, we have to prove to the world that just women are too dumb to be in charge. This is perfect evidence.
Example, yes.
I was arguing with the chick I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. One of the chicks I'm seeing, and I told her, look, you're retarded because X, Y, and Z. She said, don't talk to me about that. Don't say retarded because of this, that, and this. I said, look, you're retarded, and here's the evidence. And I didn't argue with her the way that most guys argue with girls, where they try to rationalize with girls. Mm-hmm. I make sure the girl is respecting me first before I even attempt to rationalize or explain myself or justify my opinion. This is all covered in the ebook. So you better read up on it if you want to learn how to argue with girls effectively. If you can't be in charge, your great, reasonable sounding arguments will be just like this interview here. You can give perfectly rational, reasonable answers to any questions they have. But if chicks don't respect you, they're not going to listen to you. This cunt is a prime example of that. Again, women are not designed to be in charge. This is perfect evidence of that. Women are not qualified to be in charge. They don't have the mental capacity to be in charge. If a woman had the capacity to be in charge, all she would need to do is go, look, your argument is unreasonable, and here's where it's unreasonable. I'm going to prove it right now, using my reasonable brain to answer your assertion, your content, and I'm going to be able to contend with you with just using my brain alone.
Yes, but
they can't do that.
They can't. Most guys don't witness this, first of all, and also most guys are used to seeing chicks kind of get by learning shit and
most guys are fooled by us. They're used to seeing chicks in class answer rote questions or just display something that they learned. Like, when was the Battle of Independence fought? And chick is the only one that can answer the question. So they go, oh, that chick must be smart.
Yes.
No, you fucktard. She's the only chick that memorized the answer. That doesn't make her smart. That makes her a good memorizer. That makes her a good worker. Most guys don't realize that chicks are too dumb to put the trees together to make a forest. The chicks will know the tree. They'll be like, that's a tree. That's a deciduous tree. And you're like, great. You must be smart. No. She doesn't understand there's a forest made up of trees. That is the point of the tree.
You have female writers.
Great. Good for them.
Okay. I mean, a guy would think, oh, there's a female writer. She's smart. But I mean,
haven't you written something today? Haven't you written something on the post today?
Have I written
on the post? Haven't you written something on the forum today?
Yes.
Aren't you a writer?
I'm a writer.
Well, there you go. Now you're a writer. Now you're smart.
Okay, all right, fine.
You are the argument against men. You are an argument. You are a perfect counter argument to my argument. You are an argument for men not being in charge.
All right. Sweet.
No, but the difference between you is, even though you are retarded, you show the capacity of a man in that you can reason. I can reason with you. As dumb as the answers are that you give, I can correct you, and you could see the error of your ways, and you could see the reason in my argument.
Yes.
And you could see the error in your own argument, even if you believe an argument to be true that you put forward. I can reason with you as a guy. Mm-hmm. You can become emotional about it. You can be offended by it. and you could hate me because of it, but as a guy, you still have the capacity to reason with me, with your brain.
Yeah, reason and logic make sense to me.
Yes. So even if you're not a reasonable guy yourself, you could still employ reason and logic with a guy who's more reasonable than you if you're a guy. If I come across a guy who's more reasonable than me, I can, because I have the capacity to reason with him as a guy, I can reason back and forth with him and not, throw some emotional tantrum, where a girl cannot do that.
Yeah, I see
That's a huge difference between a guy and a girl.
Very big difference, yeah.
That's a huge difference and that's a huge qualification for a good leader, is to be able to reason and talk to unreasonable people.
Yeah, but when people talk about intelligence, they're not necessarily thinking of the leadership. They're just thinking of, she sounds intelligent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they're just seeing a girl who learned a lot in school. And they're thinking, well, that girl, since she learned a lot in school and she got her diploma or she got her PhD, she must be smart.
You go to get something at a pharmacy. A lot of times you see like
that. Well, these are people who are fooled by the American educational system, which says if you're certified, you're smart.
So yes, certification. Yeah.
Certification equals intelligence, which is one of the biggest fallacies in education today. How many people graduate with a high school diploma who are too retarded to read a book?
I would say a lot of people.
Exactly my point. That is just a fallacy in the education system. Our education system is a feminist education system which teaches people what to do, not why they're doing it.
Yeah, I never learned the reason.
In school, you learn what to do. You learn what you should be doing. You don't learn why you're doing it. That's why you don't learn. You don't understand if what you're doing is right or wrong, good or bad, functional or dysfunctional. You don't learn that because you don't learn why you're doing things. You just learn what to do. Here, do this. Here, don't do this.
Maybe if you went to MIT a little bit, they go into why, but other than that,
Even MIT, in all its prestigious... Well, here's the thing about MIT and institutions like that. They're teaching you practical things. Like if you're an electrician and you need to learn how a circuit works, it has to practically work. It can't theoretically work. They can't teach you about the emotional quality of a circuit. They actually have to teach you how to make that circuit work.
Yes.
But as for how that technology will be employed, it's going to be put into a cell phone. It's going to be put into a chick's purse.
Yes.
So, yes, they are teaching you some things that have to do with being intelligent, and that you have to be intelligent to invent a circuit and to know how a circuit is employed and how to build a phone. But the purpose behind that is, or the overarching purpose, the force, so to speak, is being ruled by feminists, which means that circuit is being used to design Facebook.
Yeah, in some sense.
A retarded forest of people. Facebook is a retarded forest of people. Put that on a t-shirt.
Retarded forest of people.
Yes,
I like that.
as we talk about, looking at the trees and missing the forest, Facebook represents the feminist force. It's a retarded forest of people doing nonsensical things. You should be talking to people next door to you, not on Facebook. But we look at Facebook as like a leap forward because we're retarded.
Yeah, well, the way the guy portrays it, you're bringing the real... Yeah, you don't want...
The reason guys are touting technology, look at technology, because they're fucking using chick theory. They're using chick logic. They're not allowed... Your guys aren't allowed to express their opinion. We're ruled by a world of chicks. That's why we have chick consequences. That's why Facebook is seen as a leap forward. Oh, look, I have my cell phone glued to my face while I'm walking around talking, and I'm not talking to anybody. That's a leap forward. No, it's not, retard. It's a leap backwards.
I see that, yes.
I know. I like your sound when you ponder things. I hate causing sounds out of you because it means you're quiet and you're thoughtful and you're like, that's a thought I need to think about.
I like to think about that.
I don't want you to be impressed by things anymore. I just want you to be just so unimpressed by me that you're able to just keep going on and keep speaking.
Okay. Well, one thing I wanted to say, like I noticed, and I like a lot of the insights that you say. It's like I wanted you to do the model thing, and you don't have so much social interaction knowledge. When you're doing a model conversation,
the problem is I tend to dominate the conversation because it's like I want to hear from other people, but people are saying such retarded things. I don't want to hear them.
Listen, I meant the model on your side. Like, hey, I went to work today and I saw this crazy thing. That's what you kind of started on that about like talking about some chick, but I also want to talk about like the other model, like where like you're like talking to your buddy. Hey, this Saturday I was doing this, and
Well, this is how I talk to my buddies. I would talk about things like this. This is the type of buddies I want. That's how I shape my conversations. I talk about what I want to talk about.
Yeah, you went towards social interaction in the end, though.
Well, eventually it goes towards that.
Talking about social interaction.
I guess so. I don't know what else to talk about. So I guess if we were talking about a movie, I could talk about a movie.
Movie or the time you played basketball or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just depends on what we talk about. I don't have like a rhyme or reason for, like, I don't weave everything back towards social interaction. It's just that I see a connection in things. And if I'm talking about a movie, I see a connection in how movies are feminist today. But I also see things I like about them.
Okay, but I understand. And like, I know it's going to go to, so I wish with the model part of where you were talking about the movie ended, like, lasted for a longer time than
it came back. Okay, so let's go to a movie I really liked.
Okay, there you go.
Let's go to, I wanted to put a ton more in these. I only have 3 in here about, or maybe 2. In late movie theater. Because there's so many terrible movies. It's so impressive when a good movie comes out. Especially, I hate foreign films where, like, you have to read something on the screen. I hate foreign films, but I actually saw The Great Happiness Space.
Oh yeah, I kind of started watching that. I like part of it. I like the concept.
It's an amazing movie to me because it's so sad. I like those sad movies that are poignant.
In the end, it was sad. I didn't see that part.
The whole thing about it was sad. The whole movie was sad.
Well, like these guys being used to.
Well, it's sad for me because I already know, like, when the movie's starting that. Well, maybe it's not sad for people that they don't have a full understanding of social interaction, but I have more of a rounded understanding of social interaction in that.
You already mentioned social interaction.
That's exactly why I liked it. That's exactly why I posted. See, it comes right back to it. The things I talk about are the things I'm interested in. I'm so interested in people and how they interact that everything comes back to that. I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
But, I mean, what I like about this movie is that it's so sad because a lot of people see this as, like, guys just having sex with girls for money. I mean, it seems like a win-win situation. What's bad about that? But the downside is I see, like, the decay that causes inside people when they just have sex with chicks they don't like. But especially they're now in a business of having sex for money with chicks, or not having sex with them, but leading them on, so to speak, to make them happy so they can make more money for them. So they're destroying themselves, like the guy who has to drink like 10 bottles of champagne a night and has to throw it up, so his health is all terrible. Plus, these chicks they're creating false relationships with these chicks, and they're lying to these chicks saying, yeah, I care about you, blah, blah. They're really just trying to get money out of them. And so it's like the sad cat and mouse game that's going on for their, as their career. They're getting paid to do this. It's not like just by accident, like there's just these guys, putting one over on women just to get laid, but this is actually their profession.
Yes, okay.
So it's like this decadent, sad, pathetic lifestyle, and it's just this whole, it's just slowly eating them up, and I can see this in the end, and I kind of know it's going to happen even before the ending comes around, and then the ending kind of just confirms it, and so it's just like the sad kind of thing, because it's like, it's interesting because, we don't often see guys who are able to attract women on a regular basis and keep them attracted long term. But the fact that the way they're doing it shows it how dysfunctional it is. If you have a poor expectation, you can accomplish something, but if the expectation is wrong, it's going to lead to, ultimately lead to your misery. So these guys are good with women, but ultimately they're still miserable. Like this guy's talking about, he could fuck a chick every day of the year, but he's still miserable at the end.
Okay.
So it's like, it's kind of sad to see this, but the whole way it plays out, how they show like the women and the parties and the whole thing. I mean, just the whole atmosphere around it is just like so sad but funny at the same time. It's kind of tragic. It's got like all these things in it. It's just all these little nuances in the movie make it so interesting to me. Okay, let's talk about something less to do with social interaction. Let's see. Okay. The Fantastic Mr. Fox, one of the fucking most amazing movies ever. And this is like more of an emotional thing for me because of the colors. The color scheme is like this red, warm, orange, yellow glow to it throughout the whole movie. So colors are really important in this movie. Like even the nighttime sky, it's like this dark blue sky, like a rich royal blue with like black in it, and these twinkling little stars. And it's all not animation. What is it called? Is it animation?
I would think every cartoon has a lot of colors. Why?
It's not cartoon. It's not cartoon. It's like a stop motion. I think it's called stop motion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those stop motion films. It's not a cartoon. It's a stop motion film. Fantastic Mr. Fox.
What's stop motion? But anyways,
it's like a puppet, and you move it 100 times, and then you record each time it moves, and you put all those stills together, and it looks like the puppet's moving. Okay. So it's like an animation type thing, but it's like stop motion. It's like real puppet figurines, and just posed.
So they have really colorful figurines. How come there's so much color?
All the scenery. Like I'm looking at the
in the
picture,
background. Okay.
And the characters and everything, and it's all like this yellow orangish light, which leans like this kind of warm, rustic feel to it, like a glow, like you're in a. It's like it reminds me of Christmas time, like it's festive time.
Foxes in general have a yellowish, orangish color. Okay.
But the whole, like his jacket's like this orangish yellow, the turkey's yellow, the lights are yellow reddish, the bricks behind him are all yellow. I mean,
they're showing fox and everything, dude.
Yeah, it's just like this yellowish kind of glow to it.
The fox theme. It's a fox theme.
Yeah, it's the fox theme. So it kind of has this like warm, friendly, inviting feel. Like I feel like when I'm watching the whole movie, I feel like I'm at like sitting in front of somebody's hearth and the fire is going in the mantle, and they're just telling a story. It's like your grandma's there or something. Just
so you're feeling warm, very cozy. Okay.
Yeah, warm, sweet, cozy. You want to have
a little hot chocolate when it's raining outside.
Exactly.
And watch the movie.
It's not like an action movie. It's not like an intense thing. It's just like this warm, like.
Yeah, intimate. It's not Stallone shooting up people in front
of. It's like after you bang a chick, and then you're just kind of glowing at the end.
Cuddling,
It's just
you want to
kind of just
cuddle
like
and watch that.
warm, cozy, intimate feeling. That's this whole movie times 100, like for
So,
2 hours.
okay. Much more than the Notebook.
Much more than Bridget Jones's Diary. Much more than watching Leonardo DiCaprio bang that fat bitch on in the Titanic. Yes.
Okay.
I thought they named it after her shape, like it was a Titanic. And then I realized the ship was actually sinking.
Her big British boobies.
Yeah, I thought it was like this Titanic named after a fat chick he had a date, but it was actually a ship that sunk, and she didn't sink it. So it was like this. Yeah, it's like the Titanic minus the fat chick. It just gives you this warm, cozy feeling.
Okay.
And it reminds me of like movies I've seen before like that, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's kind of that animation feeling. Like anytime I see this type of animation where they use little puppets, it gives me this cozy little feeling. Like,
didn't you feel sad, dude, when he was Titanic? That guy is like drowning in water, or were you happy he's getting away from that?
Which guy? Oh, when Leonardo.
Yeah.
When he drowned, he turned blue and his son. I was like, why is that fucking fat bitch being saved? I don't want to see her saved. I want to see Leonardo being saved.
Well, I guess she reproduces and keeps his
but fuck her. I don't like that fat bitch. I like Leonardo's character. His character was like noble. He was like saving everybody, and I guess he had to die because he was a noble guy. But that shows how much sad it was when he died versus she lived. I was like, why does that cow have to live? Why can't he live?
Okay.
Let me see. Was I really sad about him dying? Going away? I guess it was a sad moment, but I guess.
Yeah, I know. I saw that in India in '99 or something. Yeah.
I don't know if I was so sad about him dying.
But back then, I would like anything. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. Anyway, I like the movie, The Fantastic Mr. Fox. It was just this warm, cozy movie. Even like the conflict, like this fox is being chased by these 3 mean farmers.
Yeah.
Who are supposed to be like the meanest farmers in the world. You know, everything is hyperbole and exaggerated in children's movies. Animation, cartoons, that type of thing. Everything's exaggerated. So it's kind of like, it's cartoonish caricatures. It's kind of charming to see like these mean guys be overly personified as mean.
Okay.
So it's just like, but it's still like this quaint, warm feel to it. It's not like Born Identity where people are getting shot in the head.
I know what you're saying, yes.
Yeah, it's just like this quaint, warm
like when they show an evil witch or something, they show like so evil or like an evil dude,
Yeah, it's like over-exaggerated.
His mustache is all, turned up,
Yeah, so it's not like Hostel where people are getting, their head drilled in, or it's not like Saw where people have to have their penis chopped off.
Yeah, it's not like this scary thing, but it's like
So I feel like super warm about it. The music is so amazing. If I get to listen to that soundtrack, it's just so amazing how it makes you feel
more amazing than 127 Days soundtrack of The Funeral.
Oh fuck! That's a great soundtrack, but it's fucking ruined on that movie because that guy's a fag. But what I saw the original. Let's see, what did I originally associate that song to? Oh, I saw this.
The cycle guy.
Yeah, not the motorcycle, the bicycle guy.
Yeah,
this Danny McCaskill or something. Yeah, it's so fucking amazing that his bicycling skill, but the movie itself is so emotional. Like the very first moments
when he fails.
Yeah, he's failing. Like he's trying to pull off the stunt. He keeps fucking up. And you think this sets the tone of the movie. It's like you think there's going to be like this fuck up thing. You know he's going to pull it off, but the first couple of times he's just fucking up, and the soundtrack is just.
And then he just goes so well with it.
And then all of a sudden he makes it, and that's cool enough. But then the rest of the movie is just showing how fucking rad he is. He's just like fucking doing these insane, like dropping off bridges and fucking doing flips off of trees. Just like this fucking insanity. And this guy's so good. But in the beginning of the movie, it's just like Rocky Balboa showing him like just training and fucking up. And then you see how great he is. And the rest of the movie, or the rest of the video is just him showing all these fucking
From the possibility of him looking like a loser, he ends up like a superstar.
Yeah, it's like him being this loser. Like the first 3... I'm gonna fucking play the video. I'm gonna just comment on this video.
I like that music.
Yeah, what is it? McCaskill?
The Funeral.
I can't find it. Anyway, it's gonna be like... It's so amazing to watch this video. So, yeah, the music was so amazing. But it was amazing in a different sense. That was amazing, inspiring, like Rocky. Like, after you watch that, you want to go out and beat up people, or you want to go out
you want to do push-ups, you want to do push-ups.
You want to conquer the world.
Beat up some beef and shit.
Yeah, you want to become Rocky after you watch that. Yes. But this music is different. It's cool in another sense. It's so cool in that it gives you, like, it's like heroin. It's like...
But you don't... Okay. But you don't really want to go and ride your bike that way.
You don't want to go out and beat up anybody. You don't want to go out and ride. You don't want to fight 10 guys. You don't want to conquer the world. This music makes you so... It's like heroin. Like you just got a shot of heroin in your arm for all you drug addicts out there.
But it does uplift you.
It uplifts you without the... I want to say without the shakes or whatever.
So it uplifts your spirit.
It uplifts your spirit. I don't know if it uplifts my spirit. It's more like... Well, yeah, maybe it does. It's heartwarming. It's like charming. It's like seeing a newborn baby crawling across the floor.
Okay.
and not wanting to kick it. I don't know if that's a feeling I want to describe it as. It's like seeing if all the students at Manhood Academy suddenly graduated and had girlfriends or whatever,
The world is changing
and
as we
they
speak.
they all became successful in life. If that all happened at once, that's what this feeling would be like. This quaint, charming feeling.
And this beautiful music will be playing.
This-
That's
yeah.
like me liking epic music. I like music that's
No,
epic.
no,
you know,
I
they
take
have-
it back. It's not epic like that. That would be epic music. It's
Okay.
it's like this tinkering sensation. Like they play this one part where they're constructing the fox's house. Like he just bought this tree and they're moving
Okay.
in, and it plays like this tinker toy. It sounds like so it's kind of like quaint, but kind of mirthy, kind of how to describe it? Kind of not comical, but it's just kind of charming, heartwarming to see. It's not like a super cool thing, but it's just like seeing like a cute thing happen.
Like a flower open.
Yeah, like a flower open, not like a whole field of flowers blooming and blossoming, but just like
one
one flower just blooming. It's like a quaint little thing. So it's like these quaint little segments of life all rolled into this one whole movie, and it's so amazing. The colors and the music are amazing in themselves. Then there's the story. The story is almost ruined by, well, I don't want to get in the story, otherwise I'll get off other topic. Otherwise I'll start punching holes in the wall. But besides that, the animation is amazing. And
How about
yeah.
any real life movies like non-cartoon?
Any real life movies that
Not
I
real life, but
thought
like
were super amazing? Yes. Miller's Crossing is fucking amazing.
yeah, you talked about that one.
Yeah,
What
I
else?
think I talked about that one. What other
You
one?
never really talked about Rocky that much, but you did today in some sense.
Rocky. Yeah, Rocky. Overall, I didn't think Rocky was a great movie because it had so many slow moments in it, like when he's getting with Adrian, his girlfriend.
Adrian, yeah, I know.
It's like such a fucking slow, boring part.
And she's kind of ugly.
Yeah, but I like the training part of Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
The training part is so fucking
that is
rad.
all of Rocky is. That's the major part.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's the part that appeals to guys. I'm sure maybe the relationship's there to get it into
okay.
an Oscar movie or something. I don't know, but I'm like,
I
fuck
see,
that part.
I like the ratio they maintained back then, where the relationship part is minimal and the
That's what I love about those old movies is that it's like,
now it's like they try to go a 50-50
here's the thing.
or something.
I realize a formula for making a good movie. From back then, you use chicks for like sex, like a James Bond is a perfect example. Use chicks for sex appeal. You like make one little thing with a chick, and then you get the fuck out of there with a chick.
Yeah.
You don't make a chick a focal point of a movie like Tomb Raider.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
You don't fuck up an entire movie by putting a chick in there and making her like an adversary or something. That fucks up your entire movie. Every movie is fucked up because there's chicks in it. It's
now
like
they do all the adversary shit. You're right.
Here's the thing. Female liberation is looked at like slavery. Like now, now they have more black people in movies. You always gotta have a rapper, a Tupac Shakur, or somebody, or like Ice Cube in a movie, and it fucks up the movie. It's like people are so outraged. There's no black people in the movie. They gotta have like 20 black people and 20 white people in the movie. Otherwise, it's a racist movie. You can't show it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of watching it's like looking at car commercials. Car commercials are not reality. You don't see in a car. You don't see a fucking black guy, a Chinese guy, a white guy, and a Mexican guy all hanging out in a car. You don't fucking see that. It's not reality. But that's what you see in car commercials because it has to be so inclusive. So it's phony. Car commercials are phony. They don't represent reality. So every movie I see is so fucking phony. Yes, I realize it's a movie, but a movie's supposed to be even more fantastic, more cool in that sense. Like James Bond is so cool, but everybody's so fucking concerned about PC correctness, political correctness that you gotta have like fucking 50 black guys, 50 women, 50 minorities. There's always that fucking annoying Chinese guy. Oh my god, I want to stab that guy in his face. There's a guy. There's a token Chinese guy they use in every slasher film. Let me think. What's his? He's in 21. Hold on. Who's the guy? Here's the guy. I'm gonna look him up.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the power of the internet.
I'll try to hold my thoughts to myself.
I'm going to the power of the internet. Hold on. I'm looking it up. IMDb 21. This fucking faggot Chinese guy is so annoying. Because you know when they put in like the token characters? Aaron Yu. AARONYOO. This fucking faggot is in every token movie. Let me see how many movies he's ruined.
I guess I haven't been watching recent movies.
This guy is so fucking annoying because he gives like the token guy opinion. Not the guy opinion. He gives the token faggot opinion. Is
he a metro guy or metrosexual guy? Or?
He's been in Disturbia, Friday the 13th. Let me see what other. I'm seeing what movies he's ruined. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like when you ever have like a group of teenagers, he's always in there.
Okay.
The gamer, he's in that. Yeah. He's ruined that.
Well, I guess he represents the urban crowd. You need.
He represents like the urban hipster guy. He's
the black
exactly,
guy and the Chinese. Or you need an Asian. Yeah.
He's like the programmer, like a Matrix guy. You know when you talk about a programmer, or like you need a nerdy guy to program. Yeah. That's the go-to guy.
Okay.
Friday the 13th. What else did he ruin? 21.
Well, I guess if the movie is showing urban people, like you got an urban dude in there, I guess.
What else did he fucking ruin? Let me think here. I guess that's it. But every time I see him, I recognize him. I'm like, fuck this asshole. He makes me want to hurt cats or something, bite the heads off hamsters.
Why? What about him do you not like? The way
he's so cliche.
Okay.
He's just so indicative to me of the whole
the current situation.
Including every single race in a movie. Otherwise, we can't show the movie. Like,
Okay.
I'm surprised they could show Indian movies with so many Indian actors. There's no, like, black, Chinese.
Well, that's because we don't have people of other ethnicities in India like the way
but that's
you have
racist.
in America.
That's racist.
Well, if you say millions of white people immigrated to India, we would have to start showing white people.
No, it's racist. We're idealizing all cinema. You should show all colors in cinema. I'm surprised Mexican people aren't as outraged because they show black people and white people now. But where's the?
They're getting the Latino element in there. Eva Mendes.
Well, what about the Indonesians? Where are they? Where's their representation?
Come on, you can't hit every race, dude.
Well, it's racist then. How come they can hit Chinese and
the
black and white?
The major races are going to get representation.
I want all races represented equally. I want every movie to have an Indonesian in it as a lead character. I want Chileans.
Well, that's like the Senate and the House. The Senate gets a rep from every state.
That's what I fucking want every movie from now on. I don't want to see another movie unless I see every fucking race and every creed represented. Also, I want all relationships. I want lesbian relationships. I want pedophile relationships. I want cat and person relationships. I want hamster and plant relationships. I want a normal family relationship. I want to see all types of families.
The doggy animal thing is illegal, so that cannot be shown.
I don't care. I want to see it. I want to make sure all relationships are represented fairly. If you could show a human guy and girl in a relationship, I want to see a guy and a guy. I want to see a chick and a chick. I want to see a guy and a plant. I want to see a guy and a dog.
Yeah, but that's unnatural.
I don't care if it's unnatural. A guy and a guy is unnatural. So if you could show that, I want to be able to show a guy and a plant.
No, I think they need to stop at guy and girl.
No,
not go beyond.
I think they need to start representing all colors, all races, all relationships.
Alright, okay, growing up, I seen, movies, and I like Rocky, I like Top Gun, right? And there's always, white people acting in it.
Yes.
But now, I didn't care, there's not a black dude acting. But now, after hearing the logic, what about the black people? Now I'm like,
You know what? Maybe there's black people that need to be in movies, but just because they force it on me, like there has to be a black people in a movie, I hate black people. They've made me unintentionally racist. Now when I see a slasher film and I see a black guy, I hate that black guy. When I see a Chinese guy in a slasher film, I hate a Chinese guy in there.
So I'm trying
They've
to see
made me racist. They've created racism in me.
The problem with the logic, there was no black guy in Top Gun. I mean, I didn't see it as a problem.
There was a black guy in Top Gun, but now I hate that black guy.
As a main lead.
As a main lead, yeah. He's the guy who said, Maverick, why didn't you take the shot, man? Why didn't you take the shot? And he grabs him. I'll take the shot when I'm good and ready. You got that,
okay.
Black guy? He should have said, I'll take the shot when I'm good and ready, you dirty nigger. You got that? He should have said that right on film, so they would capture the element of racism in the film for realism.
You know what? It makes sense to...
You dirty jigaboo, I'll take the shot when I'm ready. You porch monkey.
It makes sense that there's mostly been white actors in movies because, the majority of people are white people. So I guess it makes sense.
Well, that's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind them if they have, if you have a movie that requires black actors, I think they should have black actors in there. Everybody should have their chance to be in a movie. But the fact that we are forced to have, X amount of actors or X amount of women in films is so annoying to me that it makes me have the opposite reaction. I know for sure that's fine that, if you want to show black actors in the Civil War, but when they start modernizing those black actors and they make them into actors or they make them play parts they wouldn't normally play in a feature, let's say you're making a Civil War movie. Black people at that time are going to act a certain way, and you want to authenticate that to represent that time period. But if you take a black guy, like a rapper, and you put him in a Civil War movie, and now he's cool, and now he's the hero, and now he's hip, and now he's making all the white people look stupid, then it makes me hate that black actor. It makes me hate the movie because now they're not representing the movie. They're just representing their ideology. They're just basically saying, well, we need to represent all black people. It's wrong if you don't represent all black people.
How about...
I don't want to alienate our black audience.
Yeah.
People are going to think I'm racist. People are going to think I hate black people. No. Mother, son, I still love you. Ronnie Muhammad, who was responsible for me creating that racism post about why I use the term nigger, I still love you. All our black brothers and sisters on the forum, assalamu alaikum.
So you're saying...
All the Indian people on the forum? What's a common Indian greeting for people that are of Indian descent?
Namaste.
Namaste.
That's like hello,
For High School 101, namaste. And also for all the Mexican people on our forum, all the wetbacks I've offended, I would like to say "Cómo estás?"
So you would say
For
you
the
would
Chinese,
have
for the Chinese, for the slant-eyed gooks on the forum, the rice eaters, I would like to say "Ni hao ma, shei shei." For all the Japs on the forum, for all the short-eyed rice sticks, all the rice rockets, I'd like to say, "Boku no." Wait, what would I say? I would say, "Oh, domo arigatou gozaimashita."
So
Any other races that I've offended that I've covered that I haven't covered? Did I cover the Welsh?
maybe some what is that? Sand niggers.
Black,
I don't know. What do you
sanding, Arabs. I don't know any other phrases.
Yeah, turbans.
The Jews.
Jews.
L'chaim.
I don't know if you have any Jews on this side. I kind of feel maybe there's not that many Jews.
I think I've covered all the races. Any other races I forgot that I've offended? I apologize
Nigerians,
to you, my brothers.
I don't know,
my brothers and sisters. Okay, continue on. What were you saying?
All right, so if they showed like an Indian guy as the governor in the movie or something, you'd be like, hey, what the fuck? That doesn't seem real.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck that Indian guy. Get that guy out of there. I immediately now, because of this, the political correctness movement is so fucking rampant in Hollywood today. Even if I see a minority that should be there, I will question it and go, fuck that Indian in that role. I hate that Indian in that role. Even though he's fine being there. It's just because the politically correct environment has so saturated films today that now I can't even tell the difference, like when the guy belongs there or when it's just like...
So you would rather that there would be a bunch of Indian governors first before they show it in the movie, rather than show the movie and set the precedent for...
Yes, I would rather than they first set the precedent in real life rather than forcing the precedent on us in the movie.
All right. I got
like, we're going to see like 20 women presidents in movies before we see it in real life.
Okay.
What are movies where I've seen a black president?
A bunch of them, dude.
The Fifth Element, with that retarded black guy who was the president, and that's supposed to represent progressiveness in the future. Like black people being president in 2050 is supposed to represent technological advances in the future.
What if they somehow claim
and
that
our progressive future? How we're so enlightened.
What if they somehow claim by them showing that movie of a black guy as a president somehow influence people to get ready for Obama to be a black guy?
Yeah, but it's almost like art or life imitating art, where they're open to the possibility because Hollywood has created it, so now we can accept it.
So what is wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with that is because eventually we're going to get to the point where we see a woman president, and then we're going to be fine with having a female president in there. But the problem is they don't realize Hollywood is fictional, and they can't show her blowing up the world because we can only blow up the world one time. So when they blow up the world in real life, because they had an emotional tantrum with another world leader, we can't show that in real life because it'll only happen once, and then we'll all be done.
And I don't think like Obama becoming president could be traced back to them showing black guys as presidents. It just happened that way where this guy happened to be at that right time. So in this case, I don't know if art really.
I don't mind Obama being president.
No, I'm not saying
because he's a black guy. I mind him being president because he's a pussy.
Because he's a fag. Yeah,
yes.
No, I'm saying in this case, I don't think it's like the point where life representing art. I don't think that's what happened here. It's just that I'm not like this didn't happen because they showed a bunch of black guys becoming president where this guy became president. I feel in this case, life representing art didn't happen. You know what I mean?
No, I was just totally ignoring your point because I couldn't follow it the first time.
Okay, all right.
I completely ignored it.
Well, Louis, it's your point about life.
Well, yeah, but I know, but I completely wasn't. At some point, I just wasn't interested in your point. Like I was done talking about the politics of it.
Okay. All right, I think we.
I was just done talking. I don't really care about whether he should deserve to be there or not. That wasn't my point.
Not what I meant. The point is I'm not able to clearly tell you what I wanted to say.
I know, and then figuring it out was just mental gymnastics for me, and I was like, at a certain point, I was like, forget it. I don't want to figure it out. I'd rather just ignore it. I would rather you hurry up through your point and act like I understood it, and then just move on.
Okay, the gist was life imitating art, when art should imitate life.
I don't know. I don't care about it.
You said that, but anyways, all right.
I don't care anymore.
All right, I think
I'm just staring at this. I'm staring at this Friday the 13th poster. It's so rad. It's Jason from 2009, Friday the 13th, a new one, and it's just such a spooky picture of a guy wearing a hockey mask with lighting coming from behind him, and
that's
a big
so scary, a guy
7-foot machete, and just standing in the woods, and you just see this fucking guy coming out of you, out of the woods at you, with just a little bit of light, and he's just walking towards you.
Yeah, that would definitely scare. I would run I would be a sprinter.
Well, you know how I know we had a model conversation and we had fun.
Yeah.
Time flew by. It's now been.
You're right.
It's now been an hour and a half. So that the first part where we had to learn something.
Yes.
Was relatively slow. It took an hour, and it felt like 5 hours. But because we had a model conversation, we had fun. It went by very quickly, and yet we passed more time we spent an hour and a half. So altogether, we had like 2.5 hours.
Wow, nice.
Roughly.
See, and I like this, dude. Maybe this is how the way we should have the themes of podcasts. Like start off with some theory, and then you go off to
So maybe we should have it was split up. We'll do like half hour of theory or something, or half hour of
Yeah.
learning in the classroom, and then we'll
That's
just
fun.
have a mild conversation with us.
It's like
I totally
education
agree.
and entertainment. Yeah.
I'd rather have the podcast be entertaining.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so this has been another Manhood Academy podcasting with our
Podcast.
co-host Bogler.
Yes, and we're about to end the podcast.
Shut up. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.